Yo, what up, party people? What's up? Your boy Hakeem Green, channel live and direct. BDP all day, every day. All we do is spark mad ism right here every Thursday on Mad IZM Sports. What's up, Wes?
What's going on, Hop?
Man, it's all good in the hood. I'm so excited about today's show, bro. This right here is like, you know, coming up in the world of hip hop, late 80s, early 90s. Well, early 90s. You know, there was two gentlemen by the name of DJ Stretch Armstrong and DJ Bobbito Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Very just two important folks in the hip hop community in terms of getting heard by the right people, being embraced by, you know, what we call real hip hop. And, you know, later on down the line, I found out that Bobbito Garcia, DJ Bobbito Garcia, was like a legend in the street ball community. And he's been involved in a bunch of different initiatives involving basketball. And of course, he's put out a few documentaries, you know, been in a documentary and then helped produce and direct a documentary about street ball culture and basketball in general. So he's going to be on the show today, and just extremely excited and you know, just honored to have the brother on the show for a bunch of reasons.
Absolutely.
So we wanted to get started early. That's why we 10 minutes early so we can start inviting people to the building.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a nice audience waiting for Bobbito to join us at 7. He's actually in the building waiting to start. So we're going to do what we do. I'm going to throw up a video. Everybody that's already in the building. What up, cuz? My cousin Tommy's in the building. Peace, God. Peace, God. I'm going to ask you to share the stream, invite people to the conversation, like, subscribe, you know, do all those things that keep this rocking. And there it is. Let's go. So that's it. Video file. Let me go with the cipher. Boom.
This stuff is really fresh. Hey,
It's called the cipher.
Hey, yo, what is a cipher?
What's a short? It's called the cipher. Yo, it's called the cipher. We can build a cipher with the short. The cipher is a circle with all points connected. Where you get your boogie off and the weak get disrespected. The cipher is so sacred, takes place on hollow ground. B-boys seek the battle on a mission to follow sound. Beatbox DJ banging on the table is the way we settle beef since the days of Cain and Abel. Ask Pop Master Fable, the jams of DMC, with DJs battle for world supremacy. The cipher's not always round, but always on the square. Breakers be on the ground, but I'm gonna put the weed in the air. The cipher's like the wheels of steel and scratch, it makes me itch. I get hyper with the lyrical skills when the DJ catch my pitch. When the fader's being switched, everything live in the mix, but still off the cut like I wear it on my wrist.
What is a cipher? What is a cipher? The cipher, the cryptic writer, the mind igniter. I'm a rhymer designer, a line after line of rhymer. See, I'm an 80s rhymer, the crazy kinda you can't phase me rhymer. I write raw shit like I'm writing no baby diapers. I blaze these ciphers with basic shit. Savage, I'm on that kill for 8 type shit. Hit after hit, all classics, spit in the grit. You talk that hickory dick, you getting lickety split. This what you get, you ain't taking nothing from me. The goat that steps to KRS is the goat that's getting curry. Brain matter, I'm the original face slapper. It's been so many years, you must have forgot we used to chase rappers. Now I'm bust on these nappy-headed hoes, I must. You ain't bad boy, talk big, get your eye popped. That fake shit's not us, you know how fresh Chris is. Career killer, I write death sentences. Hey, yo, what is a cipher? Hey, yo, what is a cipher? What is a cipher? What is a cipher? What is a cipher?
Time is of the essence, every breath another second. I'm down by martial law, fighting through the game like Tekken. I ain't be got no weapon when I camel walk like Johnny. Ringing bells when I rock the mic is poison like I'm Ronnie. Bob and weave through the dish and pull off in a new edition. Rapping is fundamental, whack MCs be steady riffing. I just stay in my lane when I'm on a scout like Kiffin. Look for volunteers when there's a drought, I'm in the kitchen. Cooking up some special treats, not talking trout when I'm fishing. I cruise through a hunt with heavy clout when I'm on a mission. I'm special with the verse, every line in education. While I wrestle with the verse, I rhyme in meditation. Standing on one leg, balanced on the lotus, but still packed an eye for judgmental niggas who ain't the SCOTUS. You can roll with this when you done past the lighter. Rhymes going counterclockwise around the cipher.
What is a cipher? What is a cipher? What is a cipher? What is a cipher?
Yes. Party people in the place to be. That was The Cypher by your boy Hakeem Green, featuring KRS, produced by Ron Amin Ra Lawrence. That's available for streaming or purchase right now. Go get yours. That's how we doing it. The Cypher. So yeah, that's what that was. But like I said before, what Wes, today's show is kind of special for me because it's like Stretch and Bobbito show, 93, 94.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you wanted to be heard in hip hop culture, if you wanted to be heard by the real folks who could make it happen, and you had to go through Stretch and Bobbito show, and me, TJ, Noel, Disco, every week,
My people,
your peoples,
Yeah.
Exactly. Every week, we just ear by the radio, waiting for their show to start. And we was locked and loaded all night to the wee hours of the morning. Well, that's the spot. Like after you hit the club, it's like turn on the radio. You don't turn on Hot 97. You don't turn on Kiss. You turn on Stretch and Bobbito. That's the real shit happening right there. So, it's gonna be real dope having him. And he walked away for a second. It's gonna wait for him to come back.
Okay.
We'll bring him in. I talked to KG earlier, told him, there was a little change in the scheduling. I know he has some things kind of on his plate he needs to clear away.
Yep.
So he should be jumping in pretty soon. And of course, Cliff is on deck. He'll be in pretty. So, but before we get to Bobbito, you weren't here last week, so
I'm back.
You're back. Wes, I'm back, Henderson. You hear me?
Yes, sir. You know how that is. The boss of the house's birthday was last week, so I had to choose wisely.
Hey, right. Correct choice, young man. Correct choice. Because we gonna be here.
Yeah, exactly.
And we gonna be here.
Exactly.
And so it's all good in the hood.
Coach Keegan in the house.
Coach Keegan in the building. Happy birthday, Chuck. No doubt. Happy belated birthday, Chuck.
Yep.
Hold on one second. Let me bring the guard in. Bring the guard in.
What up,
bro?
Hi.
Hey, G.
Hey, I heard y'all talking about we gonna be here. Hope y'all want to talk. That wasn't cowboy talk, was it?
No. Oh no. It was so far from that.
I thought y'all was getting started early, man.
And I didn't get to congratulate you, man. Congratulations, you got your Christmas gift, Najee Harris. You begged, you pleaded.
Yeah.
They heard you on the show.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kay, telling Wes, we have a special guest in the building today. A legend in the hip hop circles, and back in the early '90s, trying to get on and get heard. Before you can get to the mainstream, you had to touch down where the real hip hop was at, and that was the Stretch and Bobbito show.
Definitely.
And so yeah, just with that said, the brother's in the building, so let's just bring him on in.
Yeah,
what up, Cool Bob?
What up?
Cool Bob Love.
Hold on.
I'm tight right now because usually when I'm backstage, I'm giving like free crackers, kiwi, strawberry. Like I was backstage that whole time. Like nobody gave me no food, no water, no nothing. What's up with these virtual joints?
I was trying to touch down with your wife ahead of time to see if she could set up a craft table services for us at the crib, but I couldn't connect.
Hey, man, it's all good.
Well, we try,
Half the time the crackers be stale anyway.
In the word, is that what it is? That's
and
how
the chicken tastes like wood.
Nah, I'm gonna have my wife put together a peanut butter jelly sandwich and eat it in front of you, just so you can feel like
What's good?
So Wes K, that's one of the other things about Bobbito Garcia. is he got all the jokes.
Oh man. Well, yo, while we on that, I was listening to you, Hakeem, and you my man. Well, my name is not Bobbito. You was like, yeah, we're gonna have Bobbito, and I was like, yo, come on, like,
no, that's the
Bobbito.
That's Jersey with the hard R. You know, the R.
Bobbito, not
Bobbito. Bobbito. No doubt.
Hey, you know what? Let's just get it out the way early, Bobbito. How's the jumper feeling?
It's lovely, man. Yo, real talk, like. The jumper is bananas. I'm not even trying to talk smack, but I spend a lot of time on the craft, and I respect the sport. And you know, I'm 54, about to turn 55.
That's why I'm asking. You know, nowadays, you know, it starts to wane at a time. But I'm asking, because you know, I know we all getting up there. You know, so I'm just trying to see how that jumper feeling nowadays.
Nah, it's ice water. Be like, yo, let me tell you something. Like, you know, people are making all this hoopla about the kid Ball who changed his form because he had ugly form, and then he changed it, and he's become like a much better shooter. Like, yo, like I could identify with that. Like, I had amazing form when I was 15 years old, basically. Thanks to a cat named Pete Strickland. He was an all-time assistant leader at University of Pittsburgh, and he just happened to move to New York because he was into theater, and he moved to 99th in Amsterdam, which is, you might know, Rocksteady Park. Right. But it's known to the ball community as the GOAT, right? Named after playground legend Earl Manigault. Now, Pete, he took a liking to me because he saw my passion for the game. He saw me out there in the morning, saw me out there at night, you know, and he just started teaching me the nuances of quick release. And I changed my form when I was 15. But we didn't have video cameras out there, you know? So it wasn't until I graduated from college and started playing ball in the tournaments in the 90s where I finally got footage, and I was like, oh, ew, now like I gotta adjust my form. So I adjusted my form in the 90s, and then I adjusted my form again in the 2000s, and I adjusted my form a fourth time in the 2010s. My form right now I feel really good about. But it's taken years, and it usually takes about like 30 to 45 days of like constant like repetition. But all to say, yo, my jump shot is water right now.
I thought you were gonna say 30 to 45 years. I'm like, hey,
no, it takes about 30 to 45 days because you know it's muscle memory, right? So like, if you've been
you ain't got no muscles, so how you memorizing anything? Let me tell you,
I see you got that muscle on your forehead, though.
So the two brothers on the top got jokes. K, he's quiet. He really don't joke too much. But the brothers up top, we got jokes. So be careful what you say, because.
Okay. No, I mean, listen. You know, the beauty of growing up across the street from the park, from Rocksteady Park and the GOAT, is that, you know, I tell this to people all the time, they don't understand. Yo, the real thing behind sneaker culture happening in New York the way it did is the fact that cats could snap. And you basically pushed yourself to get fresh with your footwear to avoid getting snapped on. That's really like the first thing.
That is
nobody ever credits that. People always like
that's universal, and that is very true though. Definitely.
Who was buying their sneakers at Tom McCann? It was like, get off the jocks.
Right. But people always talk about hip hop influence, basketball influence.
It's comedy.
It's the comedy. I had professional comedians come up to me at Stretch's radio show back in the 90s. And I'd be like, yo, that's cool. And I have my man Gary Gnu and Tone Greer from the block. And they would eat professional stand-up comedians for like, it was like an appetizer for lunch. They want to eat them for lunch. It was light work. It was like, come on, B, get out of here. Like, so when you grow up around that, you love it. You love I'm easy to snap on because I look nuts. I know I do. Look at my hairline, yo. Like,
see, that's not fair. What you do is you clown yourself to take the punch out of when we get you. Like, you can't.
I beat you to the punch. You know,
studying Eminem,
Word, what y'all up to, man? Everything's good.
Everything's good. Forget us. It's about you. Where'd you go?
Okay.
All right, so.
Well, I do what you do. It's like I could easily weasel my way into hosting the show and turn it around and ask you all a bunch of questions.
We'll open up a spot for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
already hosting a show.
Yeah, let's get.
For those who don't know, I host a show with Stretch, my co-host. We co-host, Stretch and Bobbito Radio on Apple Music Hits. We're on bi-weekly on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's a long time coming. It was 30 years.
Well overdue.
Yeah, long overdue for our return to radio.
Way overdue.
Yeah. But it's been beautiful, and I'm grateful to the platform.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Before we get there, right? Because
shameless promotion. Come on.
Don't be ashamed, man. It's like I said, it's way overdue, man. You guys done a lot for the culture,
and I need y'all to play my record.
You guys are best, man, and you guys deserve
it. Keep giving him that grease, K. I need him to play my record. Yeah, keep doing it.
No, I'm just being real, man. Like everybody in hip hop, we talked about it before you came in, Hawk. Everybody starting off before all of the commercial radio, before all that, before you even got to that point where you can even visit all these places. You had to make that run through Stretch and Bobbito. So like I said, man, we were talking about it before you came in. You were backstage. I'm not sure if you heard it, man, but much respect, man. Much love.
I appreciate that. Right. No, the joint that you played while I was in the backstage was tastier than kiwi and stale crackers. Like the joint with KRS was lovely. That was hot. But the thing is, as you can see behind me, I don't even know if I'm relevant. I only play vinyl beats, so if it's not on vinyl, can't help you out. But that's a record that I would play if it was on vinyl.
Well, I'm gonna get some vinyl pressed up.
Okay, sounds good.
Immediately. Thank you for preserving the culture. You and Stretch. Exactly. Yeah. All right, but we're at 98th Street in Amsterdam.
99,
excuse me, Rocksteady Park. Mm-hmm. Where you kind of got introduced to the game of basketball.
Yes, that's where my whole thing starts.
Which is the GOAT, the GOAT part.
Yeah.
Right. And then from there, somebody put the battery in your back, you said, which got you to college. What school did you go to?
Yeah, well, Pete Strickland, who played at University of Pitt, he definitely inspired me as far as my jumper goes, but there's a lot of players in the park, Earl Manigault included, who mentored me, who inspired my creativity. And that was just the culture of the time, I'm lucky and fortunate to have been able to, be able to appear on multiple platforms, to take what I did, the building blocks of what I did at the GOAT and spread it, throughout the world, through decades. I did that in the 90s. I did that in 2000s, did that in 2010s. I just appeared in a Aimé Leon Dore commercial with Jason Williams, White Chocolate, Grateful Austin, Skip to My Lou, Charles Oakley was in it. So I've been fortunate that I've been able to stay relevant and for 4 or 5 decades now in basketball.
But where'd you go to college though?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Before we get to college, let me share that I played high school ball at Brooklyn Tech. In 1981-82, I made the JV squad. Now in 80-81, we were led by Lorenzo Charles.
Wow.
You might recognize his name in 1983. Yeah. Derek Wittenberg.
He caught
shot an air ball.
That was NC State, right?
Yep. Shot an air ball, and Lorenzo Charles caught it and cocked it. And that won the game for Coach Jimmy Valvano. Yeah. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, yeah.
And Lorenzo Charles, rest in peace too. A lot of people don't know he passed away. He wound up having a little stint in the NBA. But anyway, so I played at Brooklyn Tech, which was a big thing for me because we had 6,000 students. So to make even a JV squad was huge. There was a lot of comp in that school, a lot. Unfortunately, third day of practice, the coach comes in. He says, "Yo, I hate to share this with you all, but the PSAL just pulled all the budget from JV at the school. So unfortunately, that's it for the season." And it was a wrap.
And this is 1982.
And this is 1981-82, my sophomore year at Brooklyn Tech.
Right.
Now, I had already planned on getting the F out of there, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like an impetus to even more so. Now, you know, the beauty of how the universe works, I got accepted to a program called A Better Chance, which is the acronym is ABC. And they placed me as a minorities a scholarship program for students of color. They placed me at their public school program. Most of the kids go to like collegiate, you know, private schools, or they go sent to like boarding schools like Philip Exeter, Mount Herman, Mount St. Herman, whatever it's called. They placed me at in the public school program outside of Philadelphia. The name of the school was Lower Merion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at Lower Merion High School in 82, 83 as a junior. Now this is 12 years before Kobe, you know, shows up on the scene, right? Kobe's not even in America at this point. He's still in Italy. We had a powerhouse crew. You know, we were ranked preseason my senior year. We won the Central League title my senior year. I think we won it. Did we win it both years? I don't remember. I know we won it my senior year for sure. I sprained my ankle prior to the States. Not to say that's the only reason why we lost. There was other factors, but we lost very early in the playoffs for the States. But I think we could have made some damage there my senior year. Mm-hmm. And I made all main line, honorable mention, and that was my experience at Lower Merion. Had a great coach, Coach Manning. He wasn't Kobe's coach. When I met Kobe, I asked him, I was like, yo, because Kobe didn't believe me that I went to Lower Merion.
Wow.
When I met Kobe, I interviewed him for Vibe magazine. And I was looking forward to meeting him, you know what I'm saying? Because I was on some LM Pride, you know what I'm saying? Like Aces, that's our mascot. Mm. So he walks into the room, he tried to snap on me. He's like, yo, he's with his boys. He's like, yo, look, homeboy, look like John B. I was like, yo, my man, you can't walk in here with the bell-bottom sweatpants on, B. Like, he was,
let him get to him. Don't matter.
I gotta get him up real quick. And he was like, yo, you funny. Like, yeah, nah, I'll give you more if you want, you know. But anyway, so I'm like, yo, I went to Lower Merion. He's like, no, you didn't. I was like, yeah, B, I went to Lower Merion. He was like, no, you didn't. I'm like, yo, my man, I was an ABC student at 121 Ardmore Avenue, the ABC house, and Coach Manning was our head. He was like, yo, his jaw dropped, Kobe. And from that point on, Kobe seen me like 3-4 times after that. Every time, could be a crowded room. Yo, Bobbito, what's up, B? Yo, you know. Oh, he never forgot. He never forgot. And, you know, he meets a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So props to Kobe again. Rest in peace to another person that we mentioned in. Mm-hmm. But in any event, yes, I told him, I was, you know, I played at Lower Merion. And then anyway, so you asked me college. I played at Wesleyan University in Middletown, Connecticut, a small Division III school. We were ranked top 10 in the country in scoring my senior year, but not because of me. I was on the bench, and which is crazy because I got cut 3 years in a row. Between my junior and senior year, I became the second overseas pro in my school's history. I played in Puerto Rico for a season. Wow. I came back. The coach, you know, he had to save face and put me on the squad. Why he didn't play me, I still don't know to this day. It's documented in my film, Rock, Rubber, 45s. For anybody who hasn't seen it, it's an autobiographical documentary. And, you know, about the history of my contributions to hip hop, basketball, music, and sneakers. And, you know, Rock stands for
Bobbito, I'm sorry.
What's up?
Can you repeat that? I want to put that in the comments. So
no doubt. Yeah, Rock, just like it sounds. Rubber, just like it sounds. 45s. So 45s.com. And it's a phenomenal movie, man. It got selected to the first ever African American film festival that presented by the Smithsonian's National Museum for African American History and Culture. It was a New York Times critics pick, but it went under the radar of a lot of people because it didn't get picked up by Netflix.
I want to make sure I got this right. Rock, Rubber, 45, the number, or spelled out?
No, 45.
45.
The number, yeah. With
an S or no S?
Yep. 45S. Yeah.
Got it. .com.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I got it right.
And the social handle, same thing, is Rock, Rubber, 45s. So yeah. Anyway, so that whole story of me playing pro in Puerto Rico and then, coming back and not getting those playing time at my college is in there, and it's got got archival footage of me in Puerto Rico, archival footage of me playing at Wesleyan. So yeah, but look, it was a sour experience, but it was a building block because I came back to New York. I decided not to go back to play in Puerto Rico, but instead I wound up starting in the music industry with a job at Def Jam, and which changed my whole life. And I was able to continue to play ball semi-pro over the years. I played for Power 105. I played an N1 mixtape tour. I have a cameo in N1 mixtape Volume 7. Did like 40 Nike commercials. I was in a Nike freestyle commercial. Played in Hoops in the Sun, EBC at Rocket Park, Dykeman, West 4th, on and on and on. So I've had a really blessed experience, with the game that I love so much. But my college is basically a blemish. It didn't work out the way I wanted to. But that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. You don't always get the rebound,
Man. But now the DJ stuff, when did you start picking up the DJ side, the hip hop side?
No doubt.
When did that come into play?
Well, I was again, very blessed, very blessed. And I often tell young people or people who are mentoring, even when they're, adults, that you got to put out positive energy in the universe. You got to create your own good luck. It don't just happen because you sit in your crib, sour grapes. But, I had the great fortune of being Stretch Armstrong's host, on WKCR 89.9 FM. And we happened to have an impactful program for 8 years together. So during those 8 years, I was always taking notes, and I was sitting, 2 feet away from, for me, like the illest DJ in the world.
Best to do it.
Right. So I'm peeping him, seeing what he's doing. And then, I was blessed to be best friends with Rich Medina, who was another huge influence on my career in terms of like being on the turntables. And, actually he was the one that really pushed me to like, be like, yo, come on, be like, you got records. I know you got records. Let's go. Like, I'll teach you a couple of things. And, that narrative is also shared in my film Rock Rubber 45s as well.
Yeah.
But basically the radio show was a calling card. Once I started spinning on the air, promoters would hit me up like, yo, what's up? You want to spin at this club? And, first it was local, and then eventually, the overseas cats started knocking, and, now to date, I've DJed in like 47 countries, 6 continents.
Crazy.
And that all starts from doing a volunteer college radio program for 4 hours a week from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. The worst time slot possible.
Yeah.
And going back to sports, because I know this is a sports show, I really feel like when I stopped doing a radio show, I became a better ball player. A lot of people don't know the toll that it took on me and Stretch to be up during those hours once a week. Plus I was working at Def Jam. Plus I was traveling. Plus I was, dealing with like just family stuff and personal stuff, the toll was crazy, man. To do that once a week for 12 years. Once I stopped doing that, my body refreshed. I became more known as a ball player in my 40s than I was in my 20s and 30s. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, guys, you got any questions? Hop in, because I got mad questions for Bobbito. So
you said Hoops Under the Sun. What y'all call me, KG? You said that I'm Forrest Gump of the show. I know everybody. I'm really celebrated by, because I used to work at Hoops Under the Sun.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah. For a guy named Bernard Bowen used to assign tournaments up.
My man, I know Bernard and his son. Bernard Bowen.
Little Bernard. Yeah, Bernard Jr.
Yo, Bernard Bowen was reffing my games in Holcomb Rucker Memorial in 1981 and 1982. I know him. My whole basketball life, I know Bernard.
He gave me my referee. He was the one who got me refereeing.
Oh, word? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
crazy
dude,
small world.
I know.
West,
Forrest Gump, right?
West is Forrest Gump, man. Like he's everywhere, man. Like everywhere with everybody, man. Go ahead, West. Go ahead.
Oh man, that was it. I just when I heard you said you played in those places, I was like, yeah, I used to be out there all the time.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you some stories about Hoops and the Suns. This is a basketball show, right? Like,
well, it's a sports show, but it's a
sports show. Okay,
it's a hip hop sports show. So
okay, right. But I'm not gonna talk about tennis and golf. Like this is gonna be a basketball show today. This episode.
There it is.
Yeah. Great.
I can't tell you about auto racing, you know. but yo, when I was playing in Hoops in the Sun, it was like the first year they ever did it, and Joe Pops Cruz was my man. Like that's the dude who founded the tournament. Shout out to Joe Jr. and Randy who took over the tournament after Joe Pops passed. You know, and they got the Parks and Recreation to rename the court after him. But I used to play ball at Orchard Beach like for decades. Like that was like a spot for pickup, you know, because they had so many fulls. They had like 4 full courts up there, and you know there was always women up there, which is always like enhances the the intensity of people playing, right? So when they started the tournament, I was like, yo, this is a great idea to have a tournament up here. You know, great location, right? I got put down with a squad called GCD, which is God Body. You know, it was owned by Shawnell Scott. You might recognize his name.
St. John's.
I just reached out to him yesterday. That's crazy.
Played at St. John's, played at San Antonio Spurs.
Cleveland.
Yeah. So Shawnell was a 7-footer.
No.
He puts down on our squad Amar McCaskill, who played for the Sixers. So we got 2 7-footers our first year. Our shooting guard is Mike Campbell, who 2 years in 2002 winds up winning the first ever one-on-one tournament in New York, perhaps maybe the world. It was Nike. It was called Nike Battlegrounds, and you know, Mike Campbell wound up winning the whole thing.
That was the one on the Intrepid.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember that.
Yeah. But they did the Intrepid for the New York qualifier. Then they did it in LA and overseas, and they brought all the winners to Houston and 6th Avenue. Me and John Sally were actually the host for the World Championship, and Mike won that. He won the whole thing, 2002. So in any event, so we had Mike. We had a crew. Yo, we lost 1 game in 2 seasons. The second season, Shawnell put Smush Parker on our squad. Smush Parker, a few years later, winds up playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, starting point guard. We also had Brian Reese, who was a champion at University of North Carolina. We had a crew, yo. We had a crew. Clearly, I didn't have to do much. I came off the bench. We had a fantastic starting point guard named Danny Basil, who was the all-time 3-point record holder at Marist College, D1. So we was like D1 the whole crew. I was basically like the only D3 player on the squad.
So so basically y'all invented the super teams.
Nah. I mean, we were stacked for that tournament at that point. You know, that tournament wound up getting a lot more competitive, but I mean, not to say that there wasn't great teams, but that tournament kept on getting better and better, you know, year after year as more people heard about it. But we were, you know, we were the first 2 seasons. So, you know, it's cool. You know, I got 2 chips. And those are I only won 1 other chip in New York at the 14th Street Y Pro-Am. When I was in the backcourt with Jack Ryan, playground legend. They recently did a feature film on Jack's life called Jack Ryan. It's on streaming platforms. And they did a documentary about Jack as well. But I mean, he's like, for me, like the best shooter the playground's ever seen. I mean, him and Joe Hammond. I never got to see Joe Hammond in his prime, you know, but in terms of people I played with and seen, you know, on a concept of Jack Ryan, like crazy. So anyway, so me and Jack took 14th Street Y, and you know, we had a crew there, but we didn't have like household names at the way that we had it in Hoops in the Sun. Right. But yeah, and but you know, most of the other tournaments I played in, never took a chip. You know, just you know, call my little highlights here and there, or you know, second place or whatever, sportsmanship awards and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, some of them I got all-star, but I was always more like a crowd pleaser, if you will. You know, there's dudes that are legends that are like straight up and down, like could have played in the NBA or were like that close, like NBA level. And then there are dudes who, you know, weren't that, but who could, you know, give a nice little pass or a little freak move that the crowd would like, you know, really like take to and appreciate. And you know, and that's why the New York folklore is so strong. You know, because we've always produced both.
Right.
What would you say is the biggest name you played with?
I mean, a lot. You know, a lot. I mean, I played with Earl Manigault, you know, all through my early teens. I mean, you know, he's a legend of legends, you know. He may not be the greatest player of all time, but, you know, when the leading scorer in NBA history, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, says flat out, Earl Manigault is the best guard I ever played with in New York. That's saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not hyperbole. Kareem is not known for, like going out on a limb and, you know, just like when he said that, it's like, yo, come on, be like, if Earl was that nice, and Earl had the record for junior high school scoring single game for years. He scored like 50 plus, you know, back in the early 60s, you know, like Earl was dunking on 6'8", 6'9" cats at 6 feet, 6'1" height. You know, this is like prior to, you know, we think of like, you know, little men banging it on big dudes, you know, in our well-documented, highlight era, you know, but yo, Earl was doing that back in the 60s. He was
doing the same thing.
Yeah, like what? Swax? La.
Yeah, I was watching some old clips of Kareem and Wilt going at it, and the footage was like, you know, it was redone. They touched it up to make it look right, and I was like, yo, the game looked kind of the same. It wasn't a lot different. Like you think back in the day, it was real stiff and robotic, and Jokers was throwing it down. It was coming through the lane. It was no look passes. It was all that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but
no, I mean, you know, certainly. I mean, there's been there's a long history of showmanship, you know, in the game, which I've always really appreciated because I'm a creative dude, you know, and I like pushing the envelope. You know, I love the idea of trying to do something that no one else has done before, and doing it legit and doing it legal.
Well, let me while you're right there, because I gotta ask this. It's layered. I have this hashtag, hip hop nobody rapping, right? And we lose sight of the fact a lot of times that there are people who are very much hip hop that ain't rapping, and I consider you to be one, like just a prime example of hip hop, whether it's street ball, whether it's DJing, just the way you move, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to talk about that. And then there's you talked about the give back and doing things for free.
Yeah.
I've seen you move the culture by giving back in so many ways with your corporate connections. You know, just you've been able to really move the needle in a very positive way for the community. And I want you to talk about that.
Thank you. Okay, so you lost me. What was the first thing you wanted me to?
Hip hop, nobody rapping. How important is hip hop to everything that you do? Basketball, you know, just the way you move.
Sure. No, I get it. Well, I mean, I'm actually gonna preface this in that I got introduced to hip hop in 1977. You know, hip hop music, at least. You know, I started seeing graffiti as early as it existed. You know, because I was born in 1966. You know, at least in New York. You know, I didn't see the Philly Riders. I didn't learn about the Philly Riders that predate the New York Riders, Cornbread, and you know, and that crew. But I'd like to owe my mindset, truthfully, to just New York. Because my brother Ray wasn't hip hop, never was, never will be. But he was on some sneakers. Like, yo, he didn't want nobody to wear the same sneakers as he had on while he had them on. He didn't want nobody to wear the same sneakers he had on after he was done with them. He wanted to have such a unique experience with his sneakers. He'd be like, yo, if he saw anybody with the same sneakers he had on, he would never buy that sneaker. You know, he was like just extra with it. And that's not hip hop. He was just a New Yorker, right? And so that was formative for me in my preteen years. And then when I got introduced to hip hop and to playground basketball, it basically happened concurrently, right? Like 77 is a big year for me because that's when I started playing at the GOAT. That's when I started like learning about, you know, rhyming from my man who was in Zulu Nation in the Bronx, you know, who was a classmate of mine, Craig Radix. And so, you know, these things are like both influencing me, but like there's an overriding theme that's just New York. It's like, yo, we in a big city with a lot of people. Rakim says it's the best, and it applies to basketball for my era, and it applies to hip hop. There's a sign at the door, no biting allowed. So if John Bagley, that wasn't his real name, this is what we called him in the park. If John Bagley had a spin move where he went behind his back as he spun, I wanted to do that move so it could be a building block, but I want to do that move, spin, do a half spin, come between my legs, and then do the full spin, and then come with a crossover, or spin back through my legs, or like, you know, crazy moves that I was just trying to like come up with and just conjure up, and then like, you know, practicing them for like hours, and then finally like, you know, playing pickup and then doing it in a game. And like, I remember the first time I did this one move, I threw the ball between my legs to the trailer, and I snatched it back, and I brought it back. And I remember the kid, it was a Haitian cat, I forget his name, mad cool. He wanted to become a real good player. He kept on saying out loud, like, yo, and he knew me. I don't know why he didn't ask me. He was just saying out loud, like, yo, what did he just do? What did he just do? Like, it was just the amazement. And that feeling to me was like greater than playing college basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, wow, man, like I did something that pushed the envelope for this kid, and that opened up his mind, like, yo, like there's other things I could do with this basketball besides just the fundamental between the leg, crossover, you know, behind the back, spin, you know, the 4-5 basic moves, you know. So yeah, I mean, you know, was that move hip hop? No, that's not hip hop. But is it concurrent and parallel universe to hip hop? Yes, absolutely. You know, so I always try to make that distinction. Like people be like, yo, Allen Iverson is hip hop. Like, no, Allen Iverson is a ball player. Basketball existed before hip hop. Basketball with the hood edge existed before hip hop. So when the hood gets on the court in a corporate setting in the NBA, it's not necessarily hip hop. It's hip hop generation. It's a product of hip hop. He's clearly influenced by hip hop. But is it hip hop in and of itself? Possibly not. That's how I feel about it. I always try to. I don't try to confine hip hop. Wait. Let me just finish. I do try to put loose borders on the idea of what hip hop is, because otherwise, what happens is what we saw with R&B music, where it'd be like hip hop R&B. It's like, nah, that's not hip hop. It's R&B. You know what I'm saying? Like it's R&B with hip hop beats, but it's not hip hop. So let's try to like
So when I see like a N1, or I see like even street ball leagues, it's just there's an energy there.
Oh, no doubt.
That's reminiscent to other places I go that has reminiscent energy. Now, no, this basketball is basketball. It's always been there.
No doubt.
But then what folks have been able to do with it to take it places that, like, you know, when I was in junior high school, I would never think that people could make a living doing basketball outside of the NBA. Like if you thought about that was like you could, but there's an energy that like, and so I'm not gonna call it hip hop, but we're gonna call this is an energy that just, and then there's an extra like bop to it. There's another thing
Nah, no doubt.
That
no doubt.
opens up a whole nother lane. But anyway.
Yeah, it is. There is definitely like that synergy and that feeling of the culture of the two, like sort of somehow that they feel like, I know what you're saying, Bobbito. It's just like, but I see exactly what, because I feel what Hawk is saying. There is, even for me personally, there is something that almost kind of marries the two. Like it's something about, but it is definitely two different things, but there is something that sort of marries the two. Like there is.
I mean, listen, Black culture is strong, right?
Yeah.
And the same parks that birthed hip hop are the very same parks that cats were balling in.
Exactly. And I think that's that energy that I think like you said, hip hop, basketball was always there. When we talk about these Black players or these, or these younger urban players that are coming up and coming out these same parks that hip hop is being birthed out of. That's where that synergy, and that's where that marriage kind of comes together.
It's the entertainment factor.
Rising together.
Yeah. I think it's the entertainment factor. It's the entertainment piece of it.
But it's also what he said about no biting allowed. It's just like there's a certain ethic to the game.
There's a mentality and a culture that comes with the two together.
No doubt. But let me F your head up.
Big shout out to Jamal Williamson in the building. Peanut, what's up? Shout out. Yes, no doubt. Jersey legend.
But let me mess your head up. Did you know that pre-hip hop at the Rucker Park, there were announcers giving out nicknames?
Oh yeah.
They were playing the Temptations, Cloud 9. You know what I'm saying? They were playing music at halftime, playing music before the game. There were people dancing in the crowd. They weren't breaking, they weren't popping, you know what I'm saying? But
that's right.
It's that's the early 70s. Go back to the Harlem Renaissance Ballroom in the 1920s and 1930s. Duke Ellington was playing jazz at halftime during the Harlem Rens games. So there's been the marriage of music and basketball is not anything new. And it has been a common thread, particularly in Black communities, communities of color, because the same thing could be said for Puerto Rico. When I played pro ball in Puerto Rico, there was nothing about hip hop at the games. We didn't hear Rakim at halftime. But motherfuckers was in the crowd, like with the Guidos and the clave, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the Roosters was running into the crowd, like, go. It was wild, you know what I'm saying? But so there's something about people of color. It's just gonna
that beat, that rhythm,
the rhythm is gonna be
applied to anything. It's just gonna be there.
It's gonna be there. It's gonna there's gonna be some hood elements. To basketball. It just happened that eventually the NBA opened this door and accepted what they couldn't deny regardless. It was coming. It was coming. I remember when they wouldn't play rap in Madison Square Garden.
Forget the NBA. It's the fact that I go to high school gyms and the shit is packed to the rafters.
Oh, no doubt.
Like that's for me the most important thing is the fact that you played at Elmwood Park. He used to play at Elmwood Park. Okay.
Where?
Elmwood Park at the Pro-Am tournaments in East Orange.
Elmwood. Yeah, I didn't know it was called Elmwood. Yeah. No,
Elmwood Park. And you said East Orange High School too.
Yeah, we played at East Orange.
Well, they would put the games inside East Orange when it rained or whatever, right?
Yeah. No, but they had a winter Pro-Am and
okay.
And we played in the winter Pro-Am, but when it would rain, we would go to the Elmwood High School as well. For the East Orange. But crazy story. One of my teammates, when I played in East Orange Pro-Am in the Winter League, was Dedrick Irving. His son is Kyrie.
Yeah, Dedrick.
Dedrick was nasty. Our squad was crazy, man. Dedrick Irving was the all-time leading scorer at Boston University. His record has since been broken. He had a trial with the Celtics. We had Kenny Bantam from Cornell, the all-time leading scorer there. We had Buck Jenkins, all-time leading scorer at Columbia. We had like three D1 cats who were the all-time leading scorers of their school. And Dedrick was super, super good. That's why I love Kyrie so much, man. Because Dedrick, his father, is an incredible human being. He raised that kid by himself. His mother passed away when he was young.
He's mad cool.
Yo, and big shout out to Kyrie. I saw that he just launched a program to invest in companies focused on social justice. Like they just put a lot of money behind something, and that's really dope. And he's very active in New Jersey, extremely active in New Jersey. Big shout out to him.
I've watched Kyrie come up as a youngster, especially around here in Jersey. He came up in West Orange, and that's where my kids went to school in West Orange. So I've seen Kyrie as a kid coming up.
He played at St. Patrick's, right?
Yeah, he played at St. Patrick's, but he actually went to Montclair Immaculate even before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went to Montclair Immaculate before that, and then I saw him in middle school playing. When he played for actually Senator Cody's team. He used to play for their teams and all of that, and little AAU teams and all that stuff as a youngster. Like you said, I know Dredd. Yep, I know him. Yeah, definitely got mad love for Kyrie, man. But
Forrest Gump had
everybody around here seen it in Kyrie as a youngster. This guy was incredible as a young kid, man.
Yeah, and Forrest Gump here had Diedrich was in my referee class. I was teaching the referee class, and Diedrich was in the class with me. and somebody had to tell me that I was Kyrie's father, and I was like, he was so quiet in the class, he was just taking it all in. And he was all humble, and he was just a real cool dude the whole time.
Super cool.
Mad laid back and cool, yo.
Yeah, super cool.
Super cool. So, yo, Bob, I got a story for you.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a heads up. It's approaching my son's bedtime, so I could talk for about another 5-10 minutes. But after that, I'm gonna have to go.
Okay,
is that cool?
That's fine. That's fine. Yep.
We appreciate it.
This is gonna be real quick.
Okay.
So I the other day interviewed the brothers from the EO Dub End of the Week, which is the longest running MC showcase, weekly showcase.
Okay. Yeah.
In New York's history.
He used to be on Avenue
A,
Avenue B, Avenue A.
Avenue A, right? All right, Club Pyramid. So he's telling me the story because he went to Rutgers with Wes, actually, Big Zoo. Chris Fenn, he's an educator, teacher now, got a doctorate, master's, incredible brother, phenomenal MC. So he's telling his story about how him and his wife met, and that basically the Stretch and Bobbito show is the soundtrack to their marriage, getting like their early relationship.
Wow.
So I needed to tell you that, like, the effect, the impact that you at the show, you and Stretch have on people is like tremendous, brother, in so many ways.
Thank
you.
So
I had to share that with you.
That's lovely. No, I mean, we've, Stretch and I over the years have heard some crazy stories, of people connected, because of their shared history with our show. And the fact that we did that, 30 years ago, we started doing it 31 years ago now. And the fact that me and Stretch are still boys, I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful. And he's grown so much as a human being. I loved him in the 90s. Like, I really love him. He's like, he's a straight up dope uncle to my son. My son, I know a lot of accomplished people. My son don't know who Rosie Perez is. So we hang out with Rosie. He's like, yo, she's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't know nothing. He don't know nothing. And he don't need to know that. We hang out with Jose Pala, crazy famous painter. Like, we hang out with Hayes, in Hayes' studio. He don't know, like, Hayes is the dude who did the EPMD logo and the Tommy Boy logo. You know what I'm saying? He don't know nothing. But he knows who Uncle Stretch is. Like, he knows that me and Uncle Stretch do the show on Apple. He knows that me and Stretch did the radio show back in the 90s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so nice to see their bonds. But actually, I'm going off on a tangent. But yeah, I got so much love for Stretch, man.
Real quick, like, what's the sneaker collection like, Bob?
It's light. I don't even consider myself a collector, and I don't consider what I have a collection. And the way that those two terms are used in the last 15, 20 years. I do have some incredible shoes here in my bedroom, and some of which have been lent out to cultural institutions. I got like 3 sneakers right now on display at the Museum of the City of New York. They got a city game exhibition, which I consulted. They have my photos up in there. I curated the playlist. I wrote a piece for the accompanying book, which was published by Rizzoli. I've had my sneakers at Brooklyn Museum, Oakland Art Museum, Atlanta Museum. Forgot what that auction house is. They did an exhibition. I lent some sneakers to there. So, I got like maybe 25 pairs of sneakers, which shocks people. They're like, what? No way. But I'm like, I wear one pair of sneakers a day. That's it. I don't rotate. Just got one pair of sneakers that I play ball in. I'm a father, so.
What's your ball sneaker?
Right now, it's the Puma Clyde Hardwood.
I like the Puma Clydes. I got a pair.
Yeah, the Puma Clyde Hardwood. Puma, since they came back into the category, has done excellent. My favorite ball sneaker of the last 2 years, though, would be the Kyrie 5. I got the low cut. The Kyrie 3, which I thought that might be my hands down favorite shoe of the last 20 years. Crazy dope. I'm saying in terms of playing ball in. And the Converse Pro BB. I was very excited when Converse stepped back into the performance category as well. So props to Converse and to for Puma for stepping it up, because they were missing in the game. Just putting out casual footwear and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I always tell the brands, when they hire me to talk, I'm like, yo, you can't be selling Chuck Taylors. It's like you can't walk without a spine. Basketball is your spine.
Yeah.
You started out as a basketball company. It's like Phil Knight once said, like Nike is a running company, but their soul is basketball. And I always share that with Converse. And so when they finally started doing a performance joint, I'm not saying I'm taking responsibility for it, but I definitely was evangelizing for people inside. Advocating for the inside evangelists who wanted to come back to the performance category there. But yeah, I mean, I like all the brands, and I love playing ball. So I go through sneakers hard. The Puma Clyde Hall was about to see their last final days pretty soon, because I run stairs. I run sprints. I race my son on his bicycle. I jump rope. When I'm doing jumpers.
You do the trampoline.
I do the mini tramp. I don't wear sneakers for that. That's in the house. I wear socks.
I just first think about the show.
When we out in the playground, my son is running around on the jungle gym. I'm doing like dribble drills. I'm running. Sometimes doing fast feet. Defensive drills. Today I was my son has some cold system, so we couldn't take him to the playground today. So I was like, yo, let's just go for a walk. And I took out the heavy ball, and I was just dribbling down the block with the heavy ball. I'm basically acting the same way I did when I was 15.
Wow.
I still love the game just as much, just as much. And like you talked about my jumper earlier, like, yo, my jumper is still wet. Like, real talk, like it's.
Hey, no, I ain't doubting you, man. Because like you said, man, I can hear, the love.
And he's a basketball dude.
Knowing, I'm a basketball junkie too, so I hear the love, and I know, and I haven't even played, with the pandemic and all that. I haven't played, and I just got back to just shooting, trying to get my muscle memory back and just trying to get my calculations back for even my deep jumper. I've been shooting mid range in the yard or whatever, but I'm about to get ready to get back out there. So I know, like I love basketball too, man. And my last thing I just want to ask you. How you feel? I mean, Knicks or Nets? I know it's probably Nets for you, definitely now. But I know, historically, probably Knicks, because the Nets was in Jersey first. So
yeah. Well, the Nets were originally in Long Island,
right? Originally,
at Nassau Coliseum. Then they moved to Jersey. They were playing out of Rahway. I remember watching the Nets in the '70s. Playing out of Rahway. I knew Rahway because of the Rahway State Prison.
Right.
But I forgot what gym it was. I think it
might have been played out of Rutgers.
I think it was Rutgers Rahway.
Yeah, it was. It was in Rahway.
I think Rutgers has a campus in Rahway. And that's where they were playing in the 70s after the Nassau Coliseum. And then anyway. I think I told Hakeem was a guest on my IG Live last week, and I might have mentioned it to him. I don't remember because all the conversations started meshing into one. But I'm not so much a spectator. Like I'm a ball player first and foremost. I love to watch a great game. I love to watch, amazing highlights. But I'm just as happy, being in the park and seeing, 4 9-year-olds dribble off their foot out of bounds and, and make that one shot after 10 minutes of shooting and be like ecstatic, to me, that's just as much of a thrill. When it comes to the Knicks and Nets, I hope both teams do well. I live in Brooklyn. I could jog to the Barclays in 15, 20 minutes. And Kyrie's there. So, I'm always going to root for Kyrie. But, the Knicks, that's like foundation for me. Yeah. I was a Knicks announcer in 2006, 2007 doing halftime reports. Nice. I don't know if you know that. I used to do it.
I didn't know that. Boom.
Yeah, it was called Hot Minute at the Half. I interviewed Fat Joe.
I remember that. that.
I interviewed Hootie and the Blowfish. I interviewed Ciara. I interviewed the swimsuit model from Sports Illustrated, Jessica White. I interviewed Dan Marino. I interviewed a lot of cats that we had 41 home games. I was there at half court when Jamal Crawford hit 50. That season. That's also the season that we only won 18 games or 21 games, or set a record. But the Knicks organization was so kind to me, and I'm forever grateful for that opportunity. Also, the Madison Square Garden Network put me on board to host and be the creative producer for a show called Summer Ball from 2006 to 2008. And it was the highest rated original programming for that channel all 3 years. Now they wound up deading it. Why, I don't know. Maybe they couldn't get the advertisers. But I was part of the Knicks family. And my first NBA game I ever went to was the Knicks. My father took me to see. I think I was 9 years old at the Garden. Back then people would be smoking in the stands and stuff. Yep. Players would be smoking cigarettes at halftime.
That's crazy.
So, and I used to go to Knicks games when I was in high school at Brooklyn Tech. I used to show your high school ID. You get it for $3. To the nosebleed seats. So I got a lot of fond memories of going to see the Knicks over the years, and also and working with them. I remember, have I ever mentioned this I remember Dan Gladstone was VP of the Knicks, right? He's like, yo, Bob, first time I did Hot Minute at the Half, he was like, yo, let me take you into the locker room so you can meet some of the fellas. I was like, oh, cool. And I met Eddie Curry. He was like, yo, what's up? I met what was the tall brother that wanted playing for the Suns? That was
Murray Stoudemire?
Nah. He played for the Suns first and came to the Knicks. I'm saying there was a cat that played for the Knicks, 7-footer, played at Indiana. Soft jumper. He didn't like mixing it up down low. But he wanted to become a shooter for the Suns, 3-point shooter, 7-footer.
Who? Not Jermaine O'Neal?
Nah. He played for the Knicks in 06, 07.
Was it Bender?
Nah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a very forgettable team, a very forgettable roster. But anyway, Jamal Crawford was on the squad.
Yeah, I remember Crawford.
They had crazy backcourt. They had Crawford, Nate Robinson, and Stephon Marbury. That's a crazy backcourt if you think about it. Anyway, so Dan Gladstone introduces me to Jamal Crawford in the locker room, and he taps Jamal and he turns around and Dan is like, yo, Jamal, I want to introduce you to, and he interrupts him. He's like, come on, Dan.
Of course.
I know who Bobbito is.
Of course. What do you think, nigga? What?
Wait, Hakeem, this is the crazy. I'm thinking he's going to be like, yes, the dude for Stretch of Bobbito. He's like, Jamal Crawford goes, yo, that's the dude with the handle. Yo, to this day.
That's dope.
Imagine that.
Dope.
Jamal
Crawford saying you got handles.
He's like, yo, that's the dude with the handle.
Jamal Crawford got all the handles.
Word.
So he said you got handles.
And gave me a pound and a hug. I was like, yo, wow. That is right up there with Gilbert Arenas. There was you remember the Ball Up tour? After the And One tour died down, there was another brand called Ball Up. that took basically all the same players, Arab there, Bone Collector, the Professor, and took them on tour. So they came to New York in 2014 for a media tour. I'm sorry, they had a game. They had a game set up, but they did a media game prior, and they invited like the editors of Slam and you know, the editors of Bleacher Report and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like ESPN, Cass was up there. So they hit me up. They were like, yo, do you want to play? And I was like, yeah, cool, of course. You know. So I went down. Now, mind you, I had a child, you know, I'm not making excuses, but I had a child and he was like months old. So although I've maintained my body and maintained my tenacity for playing, that was like a tough year for me because I was like, yo, like, you know, I'm not sleeping. Again, going back to the stretch of Bob years, it's like I wasn't sleeping, you know, I was, you know, taking care of the kid and, you know, so I wasn't really in tip top, you know what I'm saying, form. Yeah, I went to the game and me and Professor wound up guarding each other. Now, I had never been dropped in my whole life. And Professor, he went in and out on me and went behind his back. And yo,
gotcha.
No, I stumbled. I stumbled and I was heading towards falling. And in my head, I was like, yo, Bob, catch your balance. Can't do this because there's cameras out here. And all these dudes know who you are, and some of them look up to you. So yo, last moment, right before my hand touched the ground, I moved my foot and then I got back up. But he did make me stumble. I ain't gonna front. He got a nice handle. But I went right. The next possession, I was like, yo, clear out. I got it. Yeah, that's what you know about basketball is like,
oh man.
You know, especially in that context, you know. But yeah, he you know, it was nothing but love and gave me a pound. And you know, I remember the first time I met him.
Hold on.
What?
We have him on the show. Do you mind if we bring that up?
What happened?
When we have him on the show, do you mind if we bring that up? Because he might say, "What? I had him on his back."
Oh no! It's documented.
It's documented.
Mr. Africa actually posted video footage of it on his Instagram, which I was laughing at. But yeah, my hand doesn't touch the ground. I did not touch. I was this close though. But the Professor almost dropped me. He almost dropped me. But anyway, but props to Professor because you know a number of cats on the N1 mixtape tour, you know, had played with or against me over the years. Plus, you know, were fans of me and Stretch, you know, the radio show. So Main Event, you know, for example, had never played or with or against me, but he was a fan of me and Stretch's show. He used to, you know, tune in. Headache, I didn't notice it until years later, but Headache told me that he used to watch me as a kid before he started playing Unlimited. And he told me that he actually like really looked up to my game when he was a preteen. I never knew that. It bugged me out. Because I used to play in this tournament called Ray Diaz, that in on up West Side that Tim used to come to a lot. Shane, the dribbling machine, we played against each other in a number of tournaments. So anyway, so when the Professor first met me, I think it was in Puerto Rico, he didn't play in that game. Because I played in the N1 mixtape tour, but I played for Puerto Rico. I didn't play for N1. But AO had invited me to play with them, but I was like, nah, I'd rather play for Puerto Rico and play against N1. I want to challenge myself, you know. I was 40 years old at that point. Wow. Playing an N1 mixtape tour. Nice. Anyway, so Professor ran up on me after the game outside the arena. He was like, yo, can I take a picture? He was like, yeah, of course, man. He said, damn, yo, you a legend, man. Yo, I appreciate that, B. And I was like, yo, I really enjoy seeing you play, man. Really enjoy it. Like, keep on doing what you're doing. And even to this day, like, Professor made a cameo in my film, Rock Rebel 45s. He made time. I went out to LA to interview a bunch of people for the film, and Professor was one of them. And you know, he's just always just nothing but gracious and kind to me. So I appreciate that. But, you know, I always tell him, like, yo, keep on doing what you're doing because I get inspired watching you play. You know, so there's mutual respect. Yo, guys, it's 8 o'clock. I gotta get going.
Okay, all right. Just before you leave, can you plug the Stretch and Bobbito documentary and, you know, plug what else you got going on so people know what's up? And yes,
you can follow me at Cool Bob Love. That's spelled with a K. just the way it sounds. Cool, like Cool Keith. Bob, like B-O-B, Bob for apples. Love, like Amor, Cool Bob Love. So I'm at Cool Bob Love across every social media platform, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon. And then I have a website, coolboblove.com. There you can link to all 3 of the films that I've directed, Doing It in the Park, Pick Up Basketball NYC, Stretching Bobbito, Radio That Changed Lives, and my last film, Rock Rubber 45s. Also, me and Stretch have a band called the M19s. We released the album in 2020.
Nice.
We have done remixes of classic freestyles from our radio show of Biggie, Big L and Jay-Z, as well as Method Man and Ghost with our band. We were able to figure out how to get the acapellas technically, which is very difficult to do with the audio. All of those are on all streaming platforms. So just type in Stretch and Bobbito on Apple Music, and you can listen to our radio show. I'm doing a lot of things, always constant projects, juggling, but first and foremost, I'm a ball player before any of that.
Okay.
Drop it. Like, I'm a ball player. I'm a ball player that DJs. I'm not a DJ who plays ball,
So hopefully, you can carve out some more time. We thank you for sharing this time today.
No doubt.
But we gotta have we hopefully we can get you back on.
Okay.
You talked about doing some co-hosting. Maybe we can make that a reality.
Co-hosting is tough. But listen, I love Hakeem. I love you. I appreciate who you are.
Love you,
talk
bro.
about what I've done for the community. We didn't get a chance to talk about that, but I know that you've done a lot for the community as well, and continue to. KG and Wes, I haven't met you personally, but I look forward to one day shaking your hands. KG, I will destroy you in a 3-point contest if you don't get back on the court. So I'm giving you fuel. All right. Right now, I will dismantle you. I wasn't
challenging you. I wasn't challenging you. I was actually trying to get some tips.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. I've beaten NBA players in 3-point contests. I've beaten playground legends in 3-point contests. I will destroy you. So get out there on the court.
Come on, K. You're gonna spank him around, bro. You're gonna spank him around.
I gotta go.
I will give you this tip. I will give you this tip real quick, Bob. Isotope RX8 will get you some acapellas for your joint. It'll take the music away and make the joints acapellas if you want to try that. Isotope RX8, yo.
All right, thank you. Peace.
Yep.
Peace. Yo. That was dope.
Yep.
What up, Spliffington?
Oh, what's up, fellas?
The Zatch Master.
All right.
Yeah, man, that was incredible right there, man. Yeah, Bobbito Garcia, street ball legend, hip-hopper extraordinaire. And that was a dope conversation, bros. Let me see what we got going on.
As soon as we finish, I'm going outside to shoot, man.
He got you hype, huh?
Man, y'all acting like y'all Benjamin Buttons of basketball, man.
He called me out, man.
I actually played the game with Bobbito back in the 90s.
Yeah.
He was good, but I'm rocking with home team right here, so let's see that happen.
Yeah.
So what we got going on this week, fellas? There's a lot going on. NBA is it's
ramping up.
Tight. It's getting tight right now.
Ramping up.
Real tight.
Getting tight.
It's getting serious. Let's get serious.
Yeah.
Since we was talking about basketball.
Very serious. It's getting serious, man.
I know.
It looks like, I think it's inevitable at this point. The Lakers are definitely going to be a part of that play-in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
they're right at the 6th seed, 7th seed right now, and they game back.
But
3 to go?
Yeah, but you know what? To be honest, I think it seems to me, me personally, I think it's probably better for them to be in it. Let me say this, because let's think about it like this. If they go to 6, they playing the Clippers first round. I'm not sure if they ready for that. But if they go into the play-in, it's warm up. They end up in 7th place, so they play a 1-game game there, right? Okay, so let's say most likely they'll win that. Even if they don't, then they're gonna, let's say they lose to the Warriors or whatever. Then they go and drop down and they play Memphis or the Spurs. They'll probably beat them anyway, and then now they'll get Phoenix or Utah. Which will be to me, honestly, I think Phoenix or Utah at the beginning is a better matchup for the Lakers to get tuned up and ready to go than the Lakers playing the Clippers first round.
That's true.
I agree.
Let me ask a question though. Lakers right now are 6, probably going to fall to 7.
They're not 6 right now.
They're 7.
They're 7. They're 7 right now.
All right, they 7 right now. So they probably gonna be in the play-in. And who they looking at playing?
Most likely Warriors. Probably.
Warriors.
Now, in the beginning of the season, I said Steph was gonna hit the wall, LeBron was gonna hit the wall. Steph ain't hit no wall. LeBron hit the wall. Lakers' success depends on LeBron. Depends on LeBron. Right now,
true.
The Lakers don't want to see Steph Curry.
They don't.
They don't want to see Steph Curry right now.
But the thing is that if they're the 7th seed, they get 2 chances, which still can help. Which is still like eventually they'll get through one of them. So what I'm saying is if they play Steph Curry in the first 7-8 game and lose to Steph in that first game, then they're gonna fall and play like the winner of the of Memphis and the Spurs, and they'll beat them, and then there you go.
And that's the best. That's actually like Kay said, it's almost like getting your legs ready for the real tournament, and they get the best draw in that regard because again, you don't want to see the Clippers the first round, and if they was to get up to that 6th seed, then they will see the Clippers first round as opposed to that 7th or 8th ultimate seed where you.
First round is a 7-game series or 5-game series?
7 games.
Everything is 7 games now.
Everything's 7.
All right, everything's 7 games.
Everything's 7 games.
I'd rather see the Clippers in 7 games than try to muddle my way through the play-in.
Yeah, but again, the play-in, you got to remember.
You can figure out stuff. You can change. You can strategize. You can.
That's true, Hot. But you got to remember, the Lakers need time to heal as well as get their chemistry together. Right, those games will allow that time to happen. Not only a little bit of healing, little more healing time, but also a little bit more of chemistry time. Other than that, you're diving right in with the Clippers.
Yeah. And again, it gives you the better draw. It gives you the better draw with getting Utah, who's still hurt. Conley's not back yet. Neither is
Donovan Mitchell's not back either yet.
Yeah, and then or obviously you got the Suns.
They just beat the Suns without LeBron.
I think that's the matchup the Lakers really want. Probably
the Suns. Now let me ask you this: looking at the Lakers over the last week, without LeBron, without what's the point guard?
Schroeder.
Thank you. Schroeder. Caruso got hurt the other night for most of the game, and he was still able to hold on. Defense is looking really, really good. AD, he looks good, but he
got touched up again too. He didn't play last night.
Yeah, they are chalking that up to just being laid off. So like his body's still getting used to moving around. Like so he's, how when you haven't moved around, you haven't stretched, you haven't worked out, you're gonna feel a little pain. When you return.
Yeah.
So he probably needs a little rest. But they look really good as a team considering your star wasn't there. Do we expect that to hold up? And if it does, I think the Lakers have a very good chance of
I'm with you on that.
Doing their thing.
I'm not going into the hot takes with the Golden State Warriors. That's what they want. They y'all better be scared of us. Like, listen, y'all are AC for a reason. It's going to be a 1-game playoff. Come and bring it and to see what happens. Because I don't want to get caught up in all this. They're scared of. Nobody wants to see these guys. I can't be scared of somebody who don't play defense. I'm sorry.
I don't think, like I'm saying, like Steph is here on a super like hot streak, and but I don't think. Sure. I think when it gets down to it, that first game, if it's the Lakers and the Warriors, the Lakers will beat the Warriors.
Yeah, that's what I say.
It's definitely going to be the Lakers and the Warriors that first game, just because of the Lakers probably not going to move up to 6, and the Warriors are 3 games behind them. So those two are going to meet. It's going to
be LA and Golden State.
It is, and I think
Steph had help. If he had help, like if he had like if somebody said I was scared of something, like I'm scared of whoever has to play the Wizards with Beal and Westbrook in a 1-game playoff game. That's a real fear. Now they can't beat anybody in a 7-game series, but a 1-game series, those two dudes together, like if Steph had somebody else, like Wiggins the other day had 42 points, and everybody
he bought it. Come on,
but
I'm saying.
It's 5 years, man. Stop. One game does not change your career.
That was just a miracle game from Wiggins.
Yeah.
You haven't seen
that. He's a number 1 draft pick.
That from Wiggins. And then you got to think, the Lakers will maul the Warriors down low, like straight maul them. They have none of
that matters, to be honest with you, and it's probably even better if they lose that first game, because the player. The Lakers and Warriors, whoever lose that first game is going to win the second game. They're going to beat the Grizzlies or the San Antonio. So again, the Lakers probably should lose against the Warriors in that first game because again, they may not beat them trying to anyway because Curry's so hot, but it doesn't matter. They're not going to lose a second game to Memphis or San Antonio after that anyway.
What I'm saying? They just before AD came back. The Lakers were looking really, really raggedy. They was looking raggedy right now. Everybody know how I feel about LeBron James, no doubt. But dude's 36 years old, coming off a major injury with new teammates. Chemistry is gonna be is like dude looks heavy. He's gonna be winded. It's gonna be a struggle. He's not gonna be able to do the things that is needed to be done for the Lakers to really close it out. Now, AD, if he decides to step up and be that guy like we all know he can be, great. But if he doesn't, if he gets missing, if he falls, man, it could get real rough. It could get real rough. Like he has to be the alpha dog on the court.
Right. Well, but we're talking about
a series. I think for 1 game, I think the Lakers can handle their business. With LeBron coming back and AD on the court, just LeBron on the court, I think they'll be all right. But outside of injuries, I don't see that first game being an issue.
And again, even if it is, they're gonna win the second game. Yeah. So I mean, then I don't think they'll lose 2 in a row.
Now the series part is different.
And you got to think about now, you got 3 games left, so those are going to be tune-up games. LeBron and them are coming back for these last 3. And I think they knew it. They were looking at it like, you know what? I think at this point, they don't already accepted the fact. You know what, guys? Strategically, like what I was saying earlier, like at this point, it's inevitable. We're not going to get past the 7th seed. So let's just take these games off. We might could win a game or 2. The Warriors won't catch us. We'll stay at 7, and we'll get through it. That's what I think they've all come to. The realization.
They don't want to play the Clippers though. They don't want that either. So LeBron could be crying about that matchup about if he wants to, but the reality is I don't think they want to play the Clippers in the first round either.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so either. I think that, I hate to say avoiding them, but that's kind of sort of what it is. They're just like,
they don't want that smoke in the first round
for the first round, and we'll go the longer route.
I hope that's what it is, because like I said before, this last week they look crappy, and anyway. So let's move it along. So who else we feeling in the NBA right now? What's going on the East Coast?
Philly.
Well,
Boston's playing better.
Yeah, Philly got that 1 seed wrapped up.
Yeah.
But that middle of the pack, that 4th, 5th, and 6th seed, that Knicks, Hawks, Heat right now is coming down to these last games. And the Knicks, I mean, obviously a big fan, they really need to get that 4th or 5th seed to have a shot, I think, because I think they can beat Atlanta, at least to get to the second round. But if they slide all the way down to that 6th seed, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, because then they're gonna get the Bucks at that point.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
Nah,
that's not a good look.
Yeah.
That'll look like the playoffs back in the 80s when they used to get the Bucks with Marcus Johnson in the first round,
right?
And Bob Lanier. That's not a good look.
Moncrief,
and Moncrief,
You're not ready for that right now. Like, I just don't. That's not a good matchup. A good one for the Knicks to get their feet wet would be, like you said, Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Even somebody possibly. I mean, well, it won't happen with the Heat. I don't think the Heat gonna be able to jump up that far. But
no, they're all right there. They're all they basically. If the Knicks and the Heat win tonight and both of them play, all 3 of them will be tied at 39 and 31.
Okay.
So all of them are right there. So it's just a matter of who close out, and definitely the Knicks has the hardest closing schedule. Like even tonight they got San Antonio, who's not that tough a team, but they're also fighting to stay in.
Exactly. They clawing out there in the West. They're in 10th spot right now, so they're not going to allow the Knicks to just run through them.
No, and the Kings are all almost mathematically eliminated, but playing good basketball. But they can catch San Antonio if they fall apart. So that's the one good thing about this play-in.
That's what
all these games matter. You know, it's heat every night. Everybody bringing some heat. Everything matters. There's some intensity. There's no, you're not seeing all that load management at the end of the season like you normally see. It's definitely a good idea and definitely competitive basketball.
I think the Jaylen Brown injury is a blow to the Celtics.
Yeah,
I was about to ask you.
How long is he out?
I was about to ask you that.
He's out. He's done for the season.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Same with Victor Oladipo.
Yeah, he's out for the joint.
Yeah, that's a blow for Miami too, because that would have been a good addition for Miami for the playoffs.
Dang, all I did was go to a beach for a couple of days. I missed all that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, a lot happened. A lot went down.
Hey, God. Oladipo, what happened to him?
Oladipo.
The ACL? Or was it a hamstring?
Yeah, I think a hamstring, like a torn
hamstring. It's a hamstring, yeah.
He can't stay healthy.
Nah, it's unfortunate too because I like him. I like his game. Yeah. If he could stay healthy, him with Jimmy Butler, that'd have been
I thought that pickup was gonna be really good.
Yeah. Oh man, it's unfortunate. And when I was about to ask how I felt about Boston before you mentioned Jaylen Brown being out, I didn't know that happened.
Yeah,
Jaylen Brown has a torn ligaments in his wrist or whatever, so he's done.
Yeah, that's pretty much a wrap for that.
That's it.
That's a blow for them.
Although they do have Evan Fournier over there now, but I just still think Evan Fournier was there to add on to, in addition to what Jaylen Brown and what Tatum were doing already. Man, so
it would be hard.
And you got Kemba Walker. It made the Celtics a lot stronger. Now I just don't. I just think that they had chemistry issues all season. They were struggling kind of just middle of the pack. And I think that's where they're going to stay at, especially now at this point. And I think they got a first round exit coming.
Yeah, they're definitely the most vulnerable to a first round, one and done out. You know what I'm saying? Because I think they're 7 now, and Charlotte is behind them, I believe. But either way, you got the Wizards at 10. They're beating whoever they get. They're beating. They're winning that play-in tournament, and Philly better bring their hard hats because the Wizards.
Well, let me say this though: we're gonna need Bradley Beal hamstring to be all right for the Wizards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Definitely gonna need that. Without Bradley Beal,
it doesn't matter. It's a moot point without Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
And then now they will give it a fight though, because they got some rough riders out there. They play hard, and Westbrook, man, he's just
going to get a triple-double no matter what.
Goes hard. But you're gonna need the scoring of Bradley Beal in that one-game playoff.
While we're here with the Wizards and Westbrook, the fact that he broke Oscar Robinson's record, let's talk about that for just 1 second. The meaning of the triple-double and how important is that record really? Because there's some controversy around, him doing all of this, but it doesn't always translate to the wins in the playoffs and da. So just real quick, what y'all think?
I think the narrative is all about Westbrook. I just think they just do not like Westbrook. I mean, the man averages a triple-double. If no one else is doing it, then it's a feat. You know what I'm saying? So you have to honor a guy that no one else is doing what he's doing. So let's stop talking about whether it translates into wins and losses. Look at his roster outside of Bradley Beal. I mean, I don't even know if anybody can name half their players on their squad. And Beal has been out a lot of games, and Westbrook still goes out there and still does what he does no matter what. He's not out there just nutting up shots. He just plays hard, and people don't like him because of him. And I think that the bottom line is that's a hell of an accomplishment. That record has been around since the 60s. We talking 40 years later. Wow. And who else has come close? Nobody. I mean, we talking about Magic. Think about it.
And Jay, they have a clip that they were showing the other day where Jason Kidd was talking about. He said, "This is a record nobody's going to break."
Yeah.
And he's still playing.
Like
adding on.
Almost like
he's still playing and adding on to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's almost like his gift and his curse, because that's why people hate him. They think it's filled with empty stats. You know what I'm saying? There's no championships behind his name. There's nothing. No huge playoff series wins behind his name. So they thinking he's just basically a stat stuffer. I disagree, but that's the biggest criticism that he gets with that title now.
Yeah.
Until he
I
wins
hear the narrative, but I'm with you. I disagree. I just think that everybody has a situation. I think when you play for Scott Brooks and Billy Donovan your whole career, you're not gonna have championships. So let's call that out versus attacking the player. Let's talk about who he plays for, and then ask why he hasn't won a championship. So I think if Russell Westbrook played for a Popovich or a Phil Jackson, somebody that can just explain to him some simple communication skills about going around the wall instead of through the wall, Westbrook would win a championship. It's just he hasn't had a coach that can really reel him in, and he feels like he got to teach himself.
Right. I mean, because at the end of the day, look at the teams. Like you said, when he had Harden and Durant, they got to the chip. They lost to the Heat. You know, and I mean, you can't be mad at that. Yeah. And then outside of that, you got to think he didn't really have too much of a squad around him, especially for the type of player that he is. You'd have to surround him with shooters. And outside of that, he had you had him with the year or whatever with James Harden, and James Harden deserved just as much.
He had Paul George.
I mean, he had Paul George. He had Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but Paul George, come on, man. Like everybody, Paul George is also the same guy that people are getting on now. And they say get the playoffs, and they call him George Paul and playoff P and all of this stuff. Paul George gets the same criticism as well. So now you got a guy that get the criticism in Paul George, teamed with a guy that get the criticism in Westbrook. That's not going to win you no chip. Same with James Harden. Like, I mean, and I agree. I think that, James Harden's a really good player. I think Paul George's really good player. But neither one of them obviously are enough to get him over the hump.
Yeah, they haven't won either. The KD thing, people always say he had KD. Let's not forget that they were up 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors, and KD. We can all, if we all watched that series. I don't know if you watched Game 6. I know I did, because Game 5 was a close game. They could have won it. They had a couple of turnovers down the stretch. I don't know who it was, but Game 6 clearly was a KD loss by himself. 5 for 20 in the first half shooting. So, he had KD, but KD abandoned him. So it wasn't as if he lost it for KD. KD just wanted to go another way because he wanted to get it. He wanted the easy way out. He wouldn't join the people that beat him. So I can't put KD in that
conversation. To your point, right? I'm tired of people judging athletes based on like not the whole, like when people are in the middle of their career, still achieving, still doing things, and we're placing judgment on them as if their career is over. Russell Westbrook still has a tremendous amount of basketball left in him, you know, and
it's not
like
over
you said,
yet.
Put in the right.
He was young too. Like he's starting to, you know, he's figured out his niche of what it is that he does. Now it's about being with the right coaching staff, like Wes said, and on the right team and the right cast of players around him. Because now you know exactly what it is that he's best at doing. They were young. Him, Harden, and KD, and the Serge Ibaka and them guys.
It wasn't their time.
It wasn't their time.
It wasn't their time.
And absolutely, they were all in Oklahoma City, right? Did KD win in Oklahoma City? No. Did Serge Ibaka win anything with Oklahoma City? Did Harden win anything in Oklahoma City? So they're all gone. So they all are the same. None of them won in Oklahoma City.
Right, but two of them went other places and got chips.
Yeah, two of them went to win some chips, and one is still trying to get one. Right, the other one, Harden.
No, two of them.
Russell and James Harden trying to get it.
Ibaka has it and two are chasing. Ibaka has it and KD has it. But James Harden and Westbrook are the only two that don't.
Yep.
I mean, but at the same time, too, man, it doesn't really, you know, as a whole, yes, you want to, you know, put the ice on the cake with a chip, but you can't take away, you know, Westbrook's career of what he's accomplished because he don't have a championship. And no way you can do that.
No,
at 182 triple doubles.
It's ridiculous.
And counting. He may end up with 500 triple doubles.
Well, it'll be like
300. All right, 300.
I was 300. I think
300. It could be 300. It could be
300,
and that's huge because they didn't think that was going to be broken. So 300 will be, you know.
No, he's doing it. He scores a triple double like every game.
Well, he's averaging
every game.
Seasons. Then he's averaging
triple double.
Yeah,
like he's hitting them. I think the last 3 seasons.
I don't see him slowing down.
3 seasons.
I mean, what's slowing him down? I don't see him. Way he plays.
Father Time's the only thing that could catch up to him because he's very athletic. So you know that's part of why he can do that he's doing. So Father Time is the only thing that can stop him.
I give it another 3 years at this level.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's another. He's going to do 3 something.
Yeah.
Yo, Cliffy, we need to know what the over under is on Westbrook max triple double career. I'm sure that somebody's laying that bet. I'm sure somebody's laying that.
Yeah.
What is his career going to end up with?
Okay, I'll look into that.
I just think that they don't like Westbrook, man. They just don't like him. He don't talk to the media a lot. He don't give the sexy answers, you know, that people want to hear. He's not smiling for nobody. He just come to play and he leaves. That's what he does. He's not trying to make no friends. He's just trying to go out there and compete and leave. That's it.
On 5 motherfuckers while I do it.
So, Westbrook.
5 people gotta catch it at least.
Right. He my wife always says to me, she's just like, yo, it's like he just got blinders on. Like he just go out there and he ain't paying attention to nobody. He just focused and just go in his own world, just playing.
Yeah.
She always say that about him.
Yeah. And then sometimes you run into a buzzsaw, like even last year. I mean, they wasn't gonna beat the Lakers. Even if him and Harden had the great series, they weren't gonna beat the Lakers last year. So you forget he played. Oh, I forgot to leave that coach out because he played for D'Antoni too. So come on again. Yeah. Where's the championship pedigree at the coaching spot for this man? Come on.
That's true. That's the other narrative that we leave out.
Yeah, we always leave out. The players got it. Like even Patrick Ewing. I'm not a Knicks fan, right? And I used to always get on Ewing, but Ewing had an incredible career. I mean, phenomenal. And people act like because he didn't win a championship, he wasn't one of the top 7, 8 centers in the league to ever play the game. Come on, man, please.
That's true. That's real. That's real.
You know.
So Brooklyn.
Same with
Brooklyn. James Harden's back. Kyrie's out. James Harden seems to be he's the thing that makes it go. So it seems. And that's real. It's weird considering what happened last offseason and then this beginning of this season with the whole fiasco in Houston, that he's coming to the Nets and it's really his squad, really. What y'all think about that?
I don't think it's his squad. I just think that
either.
what it is that he do is it's needed, you know. And that's the thing, like I said, with Westbrook. I mean, and the thing of basketball, it's just like you plug in holes. You need certain people to do certain things and do it well. And when that stuff all come together and the chemistry clicks, you have a great team and you potentially win the championship. And I just think that, you know, Harden has not adjusted, but has taken in the role of being the point guard, and is fine with it. You know, like Kyrie said, you know, you're the point guard, you handle the ball. I'm going to be a shooting guard, and they figured that out. And I mean, James Harden is there to be the point guard. Now we just got to see how everything works with all three of them on the floor. You know,
well, before James Harden came back, they struggled a little bit. They had a little 4 or 5 game slide.
Yeah.
With KD and Kyrie playing, and then Kyrie got hurt, and I think they won that. I think they won that game, or did they lost? They lost that game.
But they played all elite competition, which is why.
And then James Harden comes back and.
Yeah, but again, the teams that they were playing when James Harden was out was elite competition, which is why you have to know that James Harden is the straw that stirs the drink and is the necessary ingredients for them to win the chip. Now they can win and beat other teams and this, that, and third.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
He has to be that cat.
I would think going into the season, I would think that the Brooklyn Nets did not need James Harden with KD and Kyrie and everything else they had. To me, it was a cakewalk without James Harden. I seem to be wrong. It seems that without James Harden, they're just another competitive team. With James Harden, it's like you can take away KD, you can take away Kyrie. It don't matter. That dude is gonna make them competitive and favorites.
But didn't they like when they got Harden, before they got him, didn't they just like empty out their bench to get Harden? And like LeVert was a good player off the bench, and now you didn't have to have him in the starting lineup, and he was giving you 20 off the bench. So I thought that they had a good team. I thought they needed another big, but I thought that their squad was pretty reputable with just Kyrie and KD before they got Harden. I mean, adding Harden was great but that's all they had. They don't have any backups anymore. They just have those guys, and all the other names we don't even know those guys. Like half the name besides Blake Griffin. I mean, the popular ones. But I thought they were okay too before they made that trade.
Well, definitely. Because you got to remember, you know, you had KD and Kyrie, but you also had Karis LeVert, you had Jared Allen, you had Spencer Dinwiddie, you had Spencer Dinwiddie. So and then you got Jeff Green. You know, you still had Landry Shamet. They had a squad. So if you had Karis LeVert and Dinwiddie still there with all the rest of this stuff, they would have still been formidable. They would have been a tough squad, just like it was without Harden. Now, obviously, you lost Jared Allen and you lost Dinwiddie from injury, but you had to get rid of Karis LeVert in order to get him. So, you know, now James Harden comes in and you got a 3-headed monster now. So now when you say, okay, all 3 of them are not on the floor together, at least 1 or at least 2 of them will always be on the floor, which still gives a matchup nightmare to anybody that's playing against them. Now, the question to me always going to be is what they're going to be able to do on the defensive end, though, because they got to stop people, too.
And that's going to be the big thing, getting stops at the end of the game in the playoffs. Because, again, it's, you know, you're talking about, you know, a 7-game series. So these teams are going to match up. They're going to scheme defense. They're going to do all of that. And obviously, it's KD, it's Harden, it's Kyrie. All of them are walking buckets. but how can they get stops at the end of the game? That's going to be the key.
Yeah, and the tough, like you said, like they lost 2 straight to Milwaukee, lately. But James Harden wasn't there, but Kyrie and KD played. And that let Milwaukee even know, okay, Harden's not here. But at least we know we can beat them. So Milwaukee's kind of feeling themselves a little bit.
Right, exactly.
Saying, listen, we can beat them.
We could beat them. That's right. That's with now when James Harden was healthy, man, with nobody beating them. Could nobody see them. Now, people walking around like they beatable. They beatable with KD and Kyrie on the court. They beatable.
Yeah, but don't sleep though, because Milwaukee and Philly are good, yo.
Yeah.
And they're loaded.
Yeah. So I mean, they will need James Harden. So it's going to be a good playoffs, man, because he's seen it. A lot of people are talking about how loaded the Nets are, but they're really kind of downplaying how elite Philly and the Bucks are at the top half of that conference. So
man,
it's gonna be some noise.
The Bucks are loaded, man.
Yeah,
the Bucks are loaded.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember the Bucks got Drew Holiday over there. They just picked up PJ Tucker over there.
Wow.
The Bucks are loaded, man.
Wow.
Bullhoser got to show me something in the playoffs. I'm just start focusing on the names, and I'm just talking about the coaches at this point.
I like that because that's how we need to raise the level of the conversation.
The players are going to do what they do, but Bullhoser, he had a number 1 seed in Atlanta for 2 years in a row. Got bumped out in the first round. He had the number 1 seed in Milwaukee 2 years in a row. Got bumped out in the second round and first round. So let's talk about their coaches. So we got Bullhoser, we got Doc Rivers, and we got Steve Nash. That's who you want to start analyzing. The players gonna be the players.
Nah, well, in Brooklyn, Steve Nash don't count.
It's Mike D'Antoni. So we got Mike D'Antoni.
It's Kyrie, KD, and
Kyrie.
James Harden.
The magic on Brooklyn is D'Antoni and the fact that he got Harden back. You know what I'm saying? That connection. So, we may be sleeping on Steve Nash, but D'Antoni on that bench is going to be, what brings all that stuff together. And
but that cancels out what you said earlier about defense and getting stops. Like D'Antoni ain't no mastermind in getting stops, and neither is Steve Nash. Like that's the next problem. They can't.
But I'm asking Cliff. Let me ask you this question, Cliffy. So D'Antoni is that guy of what? What is he?
He's that guy who knows how to best utilize Harden, and I think is making this formula work because again, it's Harden. It's how he complements KD and Kyrie. There's no fall off. It's more elevation. That's what makes all 3 of them on the court so formidable. Mm-hmm. So again, that's only going to be enhanced by how D'Antoni knows how to use and a familiarity he has with James Harden. But again, it's all going to come down to, stops at the end of the game.
Yeah, that's why I struggle with all of them. They all have their holes. Like even Doc Rivers. I'm not saying that Doc Rivers is even the better of the 3.
No, he got a ring though.
He's got a ring. So he's the one with the most experience getting past that round or getting over the hump. He's the one that got over the hump. So, but I think if you had to look at it, Milwaukee has a ton of talent, like you guys said, a ton. That guy got to coach out that paper bag. He got to start coaching. He has no in-game adjustments. He just doesn't change anything. Like it was something he did last year. All he had to do was take Brook Lopez off the court and play Giannis at the 5. That's all he had to do. and the series would have been different. Just take Brook Lopez off the court and play Giannis at the 5. And
he can do that now, though. He can do that this year because he can do that this year. He got Bobby Portis out there now. He can do it. You also got you got DiVincenzo. You got like I said, you picked up
loaded
PJ Tucker. So PJ Tucker can play the 4. PJ Tucker can play the 4, and Giannis can play the 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they play Giannis at the 5 in the postseason, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be the same problem that the Lakers present to people when they play AD at the 5. You play that stud athlete at the 5 spot, and it's all bets are off. Yep. So we'll see.
Oh, excuse me, gentlemen.
Even that.
So,
and that's why, like you said, that's why the Heat beat them.
Yeah, because they kept Brook Lopez on the floor, and the Heat spread the floor out. They had all those shooters, and Lopez can't really stay lateral with anybody, and then it puts Giannis in a bad situation. So everybody was off base when it came to that last year. That's why the Heat got him, and he didn't make one adjustment. He refused to make an adjustment. So I have to see it.
Well, Giannis, he has something to prove, and they filled up a lot of those holes that they had, and so they can go with a lot of different schemes and matchups. Yep. And he's hungry. Yeah, I
agree with y'all on everything with the talent level. We got to see the man coach. That's it.
Yeah. And they got to stop. To me, honestly, I watched them a lot. They got to stop with Giannis just bringing the ball up, running the point, man, and just going, 1 against 4. Like, give the like I can see sometimes, man. But Chris Middleton's a bucket. Get the ball to Middleton sometimes. Drew Holiday can initiate it. They just gotta get a little more creative, other than just taking the ball out, spreading it out, and hey, Giannis, here, just go 1 on 4 because I mean, obviously they better come with something different because the Heat last year. They went small, Bam at the 5, put all them shooters out there, built the wall against Giannis, and ran them off the floor.
Yep. Yeah. Real simple.
Yeah, pretty much. So, any surprises? Any dark horses we should be looking out for? Anybody going?
I think the young Hawks. I think the young Hawks. Watch out. They're gonna be a tough out, yo. It's another one. They got rebounding. They got bodies. They got shooters. They got Nate McMillan at the coach, and they're going to be a tough out. I think the Hawks will be a tough out.
I think the Hawks are going to be a tough out, and I don't think I like Charlotte. I don't know how much they can win, but I like their squad too. I don't know about this year, but it projects into being a team that's coming on that's really on the rise. The Hornets.
I agree. I don't know if it's this year, but definitely down in the near future. I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Cliff?
I mean, I like both of those squads, but as far as a dark horse, I mean, a team that a lot of people are not talking about, I like Denver. I mean, they're right in the middle of the pack. Nobody's really talking about them as far as they're talking about Jokic as the MVP, but I'm talking about really just coming out of the West. Because, I mean, I think the West is really there's a lot of parity in the West. I think as far as the East, you got Brooklyn if everybody's healthy, and then it's the Bucks and Philly. But in the West, I think you probably got 5 teams that all can win it, and it all depends on how. And I don't think there's any prohibitive.
And who are those 5 teams?
I put the Lakers in there, but you definitely have Utah, Phoenix, obviously the Clippers, and Denver, and then you got to put the Lakers in there. And then I think all 5 of those teams legitimately could win it. And it's just going to be how things shake out.
I totally agree. I think Utah is definitely a tough out, man. Especially when you get Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell back. Utah is another one. They're loaded with shooters. They spread the floor out. They got Rudy Gobert in the middle, manning it, and just stifling people. And then they're going to be tough, and they play good defense too. So
Quinn Snyder can coach.
Yeah,
he can coach.
Yeah. So what about Portland? Y'all ain't nobody's checking for Portland.
I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it. I mean, I like Denver too, but I just don't see Denver. Without Jamal Murray, I just think the Murray thing just hinders them a little bit. If they had Murray, I would give them a little more of a chance. I think they're going to be a tough out no matter what because Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. coming around now.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be a tough out, but I just don't think they're not going to. I don't think they'll get over the hump this year. I think the Jamal Murray thing is going to hurt Denver.
But Portland,
I don't even think it's just Jamal Murray. I think Monte Morris is out as well. and I think the other the guard Barton is out as well. So it's just I don't think they're gonna have enough. You know, I don't think Capazzo's enough to get it done for them.
Well, Hawk, to your point about Portland, they scary too, and I think they won 8 out of their last 10, and now everybody's back. Nurkic is back, McCullough's back. And I think they're like 10-1 when he dropped 25 and Dame drops 30, which could happen anytime. So again, don't sleep. And Melo has been balling too. So I mean, it's again. They
have some good players on their squad.
Yeah.
I like it. You know what? I ain't even gonna front. I do like the addition of Norman Powell with them too. That's another
another one. Yup.
Did something happen to him? I think something happened to him yesterday. Did he get hurt?
Norman Powell?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that won't be good.
Then they have Covington too, right?
Yeah, Covington. Yup, he's there for defensive.
And Rodney Hood, right?
Covington is tough, yo.
Yeah, they got. Yeah, they have an opportunity, and they got probably one of the top 3 closers in the game on their squad. So, and Lillard, who's not scared of nothing, and nobody in the league. So, yeah, that could be a problem. I like that Portland pick.
Yeah, because you got to look at the top half of that draw. While all the teams are good, all the 5 teams I named are good, nobody right now is playing like lights out. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the last 10 of the whole top, most of the teams are like 6-4. Yeah. Maybe so. Nobody's really like closing.
Nobody's running away with it.
Stuff. So that's why I think in the West, everything it's going to be wide open. I mean, you got
Yeah, I think that like you said, offensively, I just think that Portland, their deficiency is going to come on the defensive end, especially if you matching them up against a team, especially like a Lakers. Their back end just not big enough, for them, for Drummond, AD, and LeBron. They just
too much.
Too big for them.
Yeah, they about matchups. Whoever they get in the matchup, like they will be will be a problem for the Clippers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that would be a problem matchup for the Clippers.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. NFL.
Well, schedule was released, and then they
Bucks and Cowboys first week.
Week 4, baby. Week 4. Bucks.
Week 1.
Patriots.
Bucks and Cowboys. Week 1, right?
You silly man. No, we ain't paying attention to that.
Well, the world will be. And if you want a little gaming tip, right now that opening line is Bucks -6. Bet the Bucks. Cowboys gonna get smashed, but it's a good hope game, to start the season.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. The Cowboys gonna win that game.
I hope they do. To be honest,
opening night, they're gonna ruin everybody's on Sunday. They're gonna ruin everybody's Sunday. They're gonna come out there and win the game and get all the Cowboy love for the week, and then they're gonna be garbage probably the rest of the season.
Hey Cliff.
If they win that game, yeah.
Can you check what's the percentage of when a team wins the Super Bowl, them winning that first game that following season? I think that percentage is very low.
Yep.
They're very low percentage.
They be bringing the banner up, hanging the banner.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. People distracted. Yeah, it's not. People ain't focused. It's not. So
that's true.
We'll see. Yeah. But I think Brady's record is actually good.
Yeah, he'll have them ready. Brady won't let them have that little low.
And can we all imagine Cowboy Nation after they get that first win? Oh my God.
Yeah. Well,
oh my God.
Yeah, Facebook and IG gonna be lit. It's gonna be all types of pictures and memes and videos. And
man, yo.
No doubt.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted. The NFL would love that too. If they and then they have the whole year to hype up Tampa Bay after that. But a Cowboy win over the Bucks game 1
opening night. That'd be a good thing for the league. Let me tell you.
That would be a great thing for the league.
And it would be it'd be bad news for this program right here. That's what it would be.
And social media will just be full of it, yo. My God, yo. Like I said, I hope they do win though, man. For real, I really do hope the Cowboys win that game, man. Because I might be kind of growing more towards a Brady hater than a Cowboy hater.
Damn, that's deep.
That's tough.
Coming from a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, that's deep.
And I've turned my volume down on the Dallas Cowboys. It's this little podcast because in my car, I'm the biggest Cowboy fan there is. We win in every game. So, I downplay it now, but as soon as that season started, something that go through my body that when the Cowboys lose, man, I can't watch Sports Center. I can't watch nothing. I don't want to turn on the TV.
I feel like that too. I ain't even gonna front. We lose a game. I need at least until when.
But it's different for Steelers fans.
I need at least when.
Everybody hates a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
Like we get it from Steelers fans, Giant fans,
yeah, y'all
San Francisco fans,
y'all get it from
everybody. Nobody. If you're not a Cowboy fan, you hate the Cowboy fans.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I got one question. I'm gonna ask you, KG. I'm gonna ask you this one question as a Steelers fan.
Okay.
Now, remember Spectators in West Orange?
Yeah.
Back in the day, that's when they really got off with the football Sunday up in there.
Right.
Why is it the Steelers had a room in there, like only Steelers fans could go up in there? Like that was like you went up there, if you went in there, you wasn't a Steelers fan, you might be a fight, right? That's how it was, right? Now, how come when people would run for like 3 yards, like Barry Foster run for 3 yards, Steelers fans would like this, they would clap for everything. Like it'd be like a 2-yard game. Like what is that about? Like I just never understood like why y'all like mediocrity is like celebrated. I couldn't understand it.
What are you serious? Mediocrity celebrated by Steelers fans? They're coming from the Cowboys have been celebrating for 20-some years now of nothing. Like what the heck? And you gonna talk about we clapping for 3-yard games? Come on, Wes.
It got on my nerves, man. Every time I go up in that bar, I used to get upset. What they clapping for now? They only got 3 yards. Come on, man. Come on.
Man. Listen, man. Like I said, man. Like, I can't speak up for that, man. I gotta take up for, but I have to take up for my Steelers, though. I gotta take up for them. But all I'm saying is
25 years.
It's Cowboys, like seriously, it's been mediocre for like
25 years, 26 years. Yeah,
26 years.
The last time we did anything good was when we beat the Steelers.
You wouldn't know that though.
It was 95.
Not the Cowboy fans.
Oh, no, we know that.
I know that. How did I not know that?
Yeah.
The way Cowboy fans have been on social media, even now, and it happens every time after the draft, every time on the off season, every time. That's why I said, let them win that first game. Oh my God, it's gonna be on, man. It's gonna be on, and you guys, speaking of the Steelers and the Cowboys, the Steelers have the hardest strength of schedule this season, and the Cowboys have the easiest.
We have the easiest
we
this
do?
year?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, well, it happens.
Man, well.
Gotta play. You gotta play.
It's gonna make for good.
You got to line up and play.
You got Najee now. Y'all got Najee. Y'all got Najee.
Man.
But on the real K, you like with the extra game. But you guys always go 10-6
every year.
11-5.
Like, write it down.
12-4.
Right.
Like you guys are gonna have a strong regular season, show up in the playoffs, and something may happen in the playoffs. But it's a lock that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be in the playoffs, and that's a tribute to the organization and the coaching.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we definitely, maintain and been good. Mike Tomlin's definitely been that, and ever since he's been there, he's never had a losing season.
Never.
He had a couple of 8-8s, but no losing seasons. So we've been, historically across the last couple of, years, we've been okay.
You got Noel, Cowher, Tomlin, like. That's some tradition right there, bro.
That's his. Just icon.
Yeah, 70s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
There's stability, man.
Yeah,
And that's part of it is stability, man. Your organization has to be stable. Like when you think of like look at the culture of the Jets or teams like that with coaches in and out, even Cleveland, coaches in and out. You can't win like that, man. You can't win.
Even Dallas, coaches in and out.
Well, see,
that's true.
The thing with Dallas, because how many rings the Steelers got?
Six.
And Cowboys have 5.
Yeah.
And the problem with the Cowboys is that they have a circus leader, a circus. It's a circus, so it's not serious.
It's straight bar. It's Ringling Brothers over there with Jerry. Jerry, to be honest, unfortunately, Jerry's all about bells and whistles and selling tickets. It's all entertainment. Jerry don't care about winning, man.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate.
Potentially win or somehow win along the way, then cool. But it's all about, because at the end, look at, like, they just showed a thing about it. Cowboys, the number 1 franchise in football. Like, his whole thing is he's figured out, like, listen, at the end of the day, even if I don't win chips, I'm still making money. So I'm doing something right, which is I'm entertaining these folks and making my franchise valuable. So, and that's being done without winning.
He's a hell of a businessman. But as an owner of the football team that makes decisions, he always feels like I can't stand even watching the draft with the star on top of his head, and they always look like they pulled the coup. They didn't do nothing. They high five it. I'm like, it's just the whole look just gets on my nerves. Everybody else, like Belichick, got one person in the room with him, and they got a flip table, and it's like some laptops brought in and some stale donuts and coffee out there. The Cowboys got this old lace thing all laced up, and it's like it's just terrible. It's a show.
Did you see the commercial you got out now? Him and Post Malone.
Yeah, it did.
No.
There's a commercial out now throwing money and Post Malone putting a chain on Jerry's neck. And they out there making it rain.
But hold on. It's actually extremely disrespectful because they're making it rain. Post Malone and Jerry making it rain. And then Ezekiel Elliott and another player.
Zach. I think it's Zach. I think it's Dak and Zeke that come and the rain is raining money down on top of them.
They made it rain on Dak and Ezekiel Elliott.
Unfortunately, I gotta look that one up.
Ringling Brothers, man. I'm telling you, man. It's Ringling Brothers.
That's magic. That's Magic City.
It's Ringling Brothers, man. Jerry,
KG,
Brothers, man.
KG. Let me ask you a question, bro. Serious business. Would you ever let somebody make it rain on you?
Nah, I'm not into all that, man.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
it. Don't make you niggas ain't doing it. Mm-mm. I'm like, all right, Post Malone is doing that. And then when Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott walk out, I'm like, come on, man. That's disrespectful, bro.
Yeah, they don't get it, man.
Come on, man. Don't do that.
Yeah. It's hard work, man.
Not take the conversation left, but
I'm struggling, man. I chose wrong when we were all going our separate ways back in the '70s when I was 9 years old, and that Super Bowl came on TV, and it was the first when Jackie Smith dropped the pass.
Yeah, that's what
I saw the team that went to the line of scrimmage and did like this and went back down, and they did the shotgun. I was like, I like that right there. I like that, man. And I chose
Hollywood Henderson, bro. Tony Dorsett, bro.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I was right with you. Same thing happened. I'm watching that Super Bowl, Jackie Smith. I was riding with the Cowboys for some reason. The star, the colors. I was riding with the whole, and then back that got me. I was caught.
I was hooked. I was hooked. And then Dorsett was sweet. And Franco Harris used to run out of bounds before he got tackled. I used to hate that.
You know what I mean?
Oh man.
So. But we had a nice run in the 90s, and then we all downhill from there. And now I'm looking for actually a new team.
Yeah, it's
honest with you.
I root for Seattle. Seattle. My closet team is the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm real picky right now. I can't just hop on anybody. I don't know. It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard.
What do you guys think going to happen with Aaron Rodgers?
He's gonna stay.
He's staying.
I think he's done.
He pulled the power move.
Nah.
Get on. They're about to do his contract again.
They about to kick him off. Heavy.
They're about to give him more guaranteed money for the next 3 years.
He's going to be the highest paid quarterback in football right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see him stay. I mean, I don't see like where he really going to go. Like,
he's going to stay.
He's going to stay.
He's going to get more money, and he's going to stay.
That was all a masterminded ploy. The whole thing was nothing but a strategy he pulled off so he could get more money. Table. Yep.
Now, I know I missed it last week, but I know y'all had to talk about Tebow. And, I'm like, man, listen, 6 years on the pine.
A joke.
A never was quarterback. He threw one pass his whole career. Unfortunately, against y'all.
Against my Steelers in overtime.
But he did all that. And we talking about this man that's been out of football for God knows how long. And he's getting an opportunity with people that play tight end now, college kids, veterans that are still trying to get jobs that actually have been active in the NFL. And we talking about Tim Tebow. It just don't make no sense at all.
Not at all.
It's horrible. Like it's what do you do? You just sit back and look at it.
It's Urban Meyer. But yeah, if you need him in your locker room, hire him as something else, man. But not as a position, like you said, Wes, that you taking away an opportunity for somebody who's played that, through college and all that, or even played in the NFL already.
Yeah.
Who's used to being on the end of the line, playing in there and blocking these guys. Like, so now he's not used to that. You're just going to throw him out there and do it. He's never caught passes like that. These guys have been playing this position. And I don't care if they're the worst in the league. They're better than him at that position because they're tight ends.
Exactly. Real tight ends, if they're the third string tight end, they're better than Tim Tebow.
Yes.
Well, the biggest thing about him ruining his credibility with the locker room, because again, the players are going to come in, they're already going to be looking at him side-eye because he's a college coach. Now, this is the third questionable decision he's made, coming in there. So we got to see how it how it all shapes out. But again, I just think he wants to bring Tebow in and basically as the foundation of that culture, but there's other ways you can do
it. He's not the only person that's religious, out there, like it's corny, basically like this legend of Tim Tebow, like people act like he's the only person to ever be like that in sports, and he's not. And he wasn't good. That's the thing. Like he wasn't good. He had a little Cinderella stretch in Denver. Mm-hmm. But when it really came down to it, I mean, he wasn't really a good quarterback. He was a gamer. I'll give him that. In college, he was a good player in college. I won't take away his college career. He played well in college, but in the pros, it translate.
Well, here's the thing. He is a hometown favorite. He's from Jacksonville, and they're trying to sell tickets.
Yeah.
So
well, how about this? I just had to pull my man out. It's my Michael Vick bobblehead. He ran a 4.7 2 weeks ago at 40 years old. Can he play slot? Are we gonna hire him to be a slot receiver? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That's basically what it comes down to now. Mike Vick is a better athlete than him anyway. Period. But I'm not asking for Mike Vick to come back and play. But Tim Tebow is making a mockery of the game. Period.
Yeah. Well, Urban Meyer really. I mean, because it's to be expected from Tim Tebow at this point. With the whole baseball run, like his whole thing. Not his whole thing, because he does a lot of charity and he give back, and we don't want to be disrespectful toward that effort. But in terms of him chasing the sports dream, you could tell it's like money. Do something else. Like, you can surely do something else. You're Tim Tebow. You can pivot and do something else. Coach, yeah, right? Why not?
Yeah, like you can coach. You can do something. There's other ways, like Cliff was saying, man. Like you can find other ways to spill that culture or spread that culture within the team, man, other than doing that. Like, because I just think that it can backfire on him, thinking that he can bring them in there to instill culture, but it can backfire where people are looking like, nah, dude, but you just figure like you just you just gonna get a chance or you're gonna get whatever when we gotta work hard and you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're like you entitled in here, and it's gonna be resentment, I think, in there from a lot of players, man. And he can lose that team. Urban Meyer can lose that team early by doing that. You know?
Now he's always. I think he's got the nice because he hired this former coach who was associated with some racial things in the past.
I was strength and conditioning coach.
Wow, yeah. What was the story on that, Cliff? Do you have any details on that?
Yeah, he was fired from Iowa. He actually was reprimanded from Iowa like a few years prior to him being fired. So it was in essence a cover-up kind of going on. And then 2 years he basically was fired from there. And I guess Urban Meyer knew him from back in the day and tried to bring him in. A positionless job too. I forget how he tried to sneak him into the organization, but then the wind came out, and that's how they shed all the light on it, and he backtracked and basically said, he wasn't considering, the ramifications in it and all that was being, I guess, how it looked, the optics of it all, But again, that was just another bad decision, and like KG just said, this is going to really backfire on him before it even starts. And that's what you stand a chance of happening. And Jacksonville will be doomed. I mean, from day one. If he loses the locker room, before the season starts. So, again, it'll be very interesting to see how. Now, I don't know if you guys heard how he tried to explain it. He basically said that one of his coaching staff basically conducted the watched him worked out, then another one watched him worked out. Then they said they basically came to Urban and said, we need to take a look at him. He looks like he's decades younger and all of this. And they said, okay, now we think we're going to bring him in and give him a shot, meaning not committing to signing him. How it moves forward is going to be the big test.
Man, isn't him and Urban Meyer neighbors or something like that?
Yeah. He literally lives two doors down.
Exactly. They catching each other going, taking the trash out, or going to pick up the mail. Having conversations. And he's like, you know what, man? I got you.
When he first moved into the neighborhood, he went over for dinner. He helped him get the house. Like, come on. 3 doors down. Where you got the job? All right, I give you my realtor. Here. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, so to make it seem like, I saw him working out, you should take a look at him. Come on, the dude lived 2 doors from you, man. Dude, you see that dude every other day.
How are we gonna play this? All right, listen. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring you in as a tight end. And then that allows us to run like H-back option passes. And then
you and Trevor will be great together.
Yo, that's horrible. That's horrible for Trevor.
I could see, to be honest, I could see him probably putting him at because you see how the NFL has kind of sort of pseudo like phased out the fullback or the H-back. He could have put him at that position. And squeeze them in there because nobody actually really uses the fullback too much. Use them as that, and then you can spread them out. The fullback, let him move out. Use him as a blocker. Spread him out or do whatever. He would have been easier going that route because then you could even pitch him the ball sometime and let him throw it. He could have been a pseudo quarterback, H-back, whatever. The tight end things is really a reach.
That's a reach. He should be a coach, a consultant.
Oh, that's what he definitely should be a consultant. Then nobody could say nothing.
Yeah, nobody could say nothing. Why do you need to play? Why do you need to take a position with somebody else?
No one would argue that.
Why? Like, you had your run. Go.
Because I think he probably did come at that Tebow, to be honest, like that. Now I know you're saying that. He probably did come at Tebow like, yo, you know what? I can use your presence. Maybe I bring you on as a consultant. And Tebow was like, consultant? Shoot, put me in the pads, coach. I want to play.
And that's probably how it went down. That's probably really how it went down.
That's how it went down right there.
But again, if you look at the overall scheme, it's not. What if they just doing this just to take all the heat and the attention off of Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's talking about him.
No, they're doing, this is why they're doing this strictly. I'm telling you, this is why they're doing this. Because he's from Jacksonville and they need to sell tickets.
I agree.
That's why they're doing this.
Yeah.
It's a business move. And people, it's like, initially I was like, yeah, why? But, as I think about it, it's like Jacksonville's been hurting for fans for a minute.
Yeah.
But they're creating a clown show too, Hawk, in the midst of all of this. They're already going to be getting smacked. Now, on top of that, you got a clown show and you're going to be getting smacked.
I don't know if they're going to be getting smacked, man.
They're going to be getting smacked, Hawk.
Initially,
who played for the Jaguars?
Yo, Trevor Lawrence, that boy is going to be nice, bro.
That's true, but who he throwing the ball to?
They'll get pieces. Who
are they beating?
Who's on defense?
Who are they beating? All these teams got better.
No.
Every team got better.
No, not this year. I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about the franchise, right? Is looking at the long-term thing, the long goal, right? They already know they ain't got nothing right now. They know that. Mm-hmm. They know they're not going to win nothing this year, right? But you have one major piece. You got Trevor Lawrence. Can you build around Trevor Lawrence, right?
I agree with that. I think so. Right. I think he's good enough. But as far as Urban Meyer, can he survive the storm of 1-16 and then maybe 4 and whatever?
Yes, this is why. Because it's Jacksonville and they love Urban Meyer. This is Northern Florida. This is University of Florida. This is why they go get Tim Tebow, right? It's the Trump dude. It's we love this, what they stand for. He's religious. He's one of us. Mm-hmm. It's imaging. It's all imaging. And I can get a fan base to come in and support. Over time, I could put pieces around because now money's going. People come in and see. Even though it's a circus like Jerry Jones in Texas.
It is.
Cowboys, they're not going to win nothing, but Dallas Cowboys is the number one franchise in sports, not just football.
Okay, but Urban Meyer is known for bailing out when it gets hot like that, though, man. That's the thing.
You know what I think? I kind of think Urban Meyer, you said, can he survive it? I think he can survive getting fired, but I think he'll be more like Nick Saban and not like losing and parlay it back into another big-time college job.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. I think that he's known for bailing out.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna like winning 5 games in 2 years. I think he'll bow out real quick. He won't get fired. I don't see him getting fired, but I can see him quitting.
It's just that the place that we're talking about is gonna love him no matter what happens.
Like I agree with that.
He's not going to get the backlash that a normal.
I don't think it's about backlash. I think you're right, but I just don't think that he has a huge ego.
Yeah, that's real.
Huge ego, and that's his brand.
And they'll stroke it.
Yeah,
they'll stroke his ego,
just like Saban. Everybody forgot he was 7-9 and 6 and something in Miami, whatever he was, or his little stint in Miami, and he got out of there quick because it was tarnishing his brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
so and like you said, they definitely. I can imagine that, Hot. You know better than all of us. You're down in Florida, so you know the temperature down there, and obviously from afar we see it and we know what it is down there. But I can see them loving them, but I don't know if Urban Meyer going to be able to take the NFL networks and the ESPNs and all these other colleagues of his and all these other networks just dogging them and dogging them and dogging them, and like Wes said, and winning 5 games in 2 years, like he. Even if the town is loving him and he could still walk in the supermarket, but if they blasting the TV in the supermarket, even though, and they chilling him in there, his ego ain't gonna be able to take it.
Yeah, if they get smashed,
Stephen A. Smith is smashing them. Stephen A. is like, let's talk about Urban Meyer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stephen A. will give him a pass.
Probably.
Sure will. He sure will.
Probably.
Sure will.
Yeah. Probably.
And if he sneak anything in it, let me start this premise by saying Urban Meyer is a friend of mine, and I love Urban Meyer. You know, and then they'll sneak a butt in their butt and say a little something, you know,
and then get off the topic.
And then get off.
Then Max will come in with his picket sign. Well, Urban Meyer is not a good man.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what's the Giants looking like these days, gentlemen? What y'all?
The New Jersey Giants? I mean, New York Giants, a football team?
Yes, sir.
Daniel Jones, that team?
Yeah, that team. Saquon Barkley.
They got some pieces this year. Mm-hmm. They got some pieces.
Barkley's coming back.
Yeah, Barkley's coming back. They got a couple of good receivers. They drafted a good receiver.
Mm-hmm. They
picked up a receiver. Yeah, so I mean, they're gonna be interesting.
So with the NFC East, what's that? Who's looking like they're going?
I still think the Cowboys have the most
yeah?
talent on the team. I'm not gonna say they're the best team, but they have the most talent.
Yeah, well, I'm not really excited by McCarthy and Dan Quinn back to your coaching. I'm just not. You know, it's like we went from Jason Garrett. I gotta stop saying we, but the Cowboys went from Jason Garrett to McCarthy. And I don't even that makes no sense to me.
McCarthy was the one that wasn't even on he wasn't on the Micah Parsons.
No, he wasn't even on the call. This is the head coach.
Like I didn't understand that. And you say that on TV, like I wasn't even part of the call.
Yeah, like, which it just shows you where the organization is. So just for the viewers out there, this is draft night. It's the Cowboys' number one pick, which they decided to pick Micah Parsons.
And he's McCarthy. Good.
Yeah, they said he's the best defensive player in the draft.
Yeah.
So a day or two later, when they're doing press to talk about the pick and why they picked and so forth and so on, you have Jimmy Jones, McCarthy, and Dan Quinn sitting on the DS, and they asked McCarthy, so what went into picking Micah Parsons? And he was like, I don't know. I wasn't a part of the conversation.
Jeez.
I wasn't on the call.
Wow.
And this is the head coach.
Head coach.
This is the head coach.
Hold up. And he's sitting right next to Jerry Jones?
Yeah, he's sitting right next to Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Chaos, man.
Yeah, it's chaos. And Jerry Jones like, whoa, you know, come on, man. You know, you gotta stop making it rain on your players, bro, and tend to your business, man. Maybe getting these meetings with these if you're gonna be a part of the coaching, Jerry, why don't you meet with your coaches, bro?
Yeah.
Or is it just a power struggle between McCarthy and Quinn?
Yeah. I don't know. Y'all talked about the NFC East. I think people sleeping on the Redskins. Redskins are gonna be good.
They are.
No, I'm not sleeping. I think they're gonna definitely be good. Their defense is tough.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all noticed, but they with the schedule release, all of the NFC East divisional games are something like in the last 5 weeks, something crazy like that. Mm-hmm. It's something, you know, they all of them, and so it's gonna come down to those last basically the last month of the season where they're just banging up on each other.
Mm-hmm. Actually the whole NFL is like that, I think, because
really?
I was looking at the Steelers. Yeah, the Steelers thing, and we're packed. Basically, we played Baltimore twice within the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah,
that's the.
So I think they took everything and backloaded the all of the divisional games in every division and backloaded them, and you play out of it all at the top load.
Yeah, you know why they did that? To compete with the NBA. That's holiday season. You want to make sure you get all those competitive games with the story and the narrative going on. So people got to choose between NFL and NBA. You know, you go with the NFL.
Yeah, I definitely think the NFC East is gonna be, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see. You know, I think Philly's gonna be the last out of them all. You know, the Giants are gonna be competitive. I wouldn't count them out, but Washington's gonna be highly competitive. Yeah. But I do think the Cowboys will win the division.
Yeah, I think it's Dallas and Washington are the top two, and I think, like you said, the Giants are the third team there.
Yeah. I'm just not sold on Dallas coaching. I think they got the talent. They got the talent. Coaching is womp.
Well, Nolan turned around that Atlanta defense when he made
that. Come on. Wait, who?
Quinn, you mean?
Quinn. Quinn. So, I mean, his first year coming there, he was able to. So, again, with Dallas's offense, it's just it's almost like, talking about the Brooklyn Nets. You just have to get to the point where your defense is competitive. You know what I'm saying? Not getting ran over. And I think the Cowboys can, will be,
When they drafted Parsons, though, that was a good one because Parsons is going to put that pressure on Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch. And Jerry finally did not re-sign a good old boy. He didn't give Van Der Esch all the money because Van Der Esch can't stay healthy. Usually Jerry notoriously gives these cats their money quickly, but he held out on Van Der Esch because he drafted Parsons. He gets a motivated Van Der Esch this year playing for a contract versus being given a contract. And now you have competition at that linebacker spot. And the sleeper kid is Jaleel Cox. He can play. He's a player too. He went in the fourth round, but he got they said second or third round talent easily. So you got those two linebackers that Parsons can become a pass rusher, and Cox can be back there with the backers. So they have like flexibility by drafting those two linebackers, and I love it because Jalen Smith was becoming a businessman, not a football player. He was all just corporate up, and he's worried about his next level. I'm like, man, you got to play football right now. So,
yeah, they mentioned. I heard somebody mention that something about Jerry saying like he his draft this year was like he drafted a basketball team. Like all his guys are super tall. Like he almost.
Oh yeah, the corners. All the corners are big. Like Dan Quinn believes in big talk. Like Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman were all tall.
Yeah.
So he likes tall guys.
Yeah, he's trying to create that whole thing of what he did over there.
Yeah. I don't. That's whatever. I just need somebody that could create. I like competition, and I think that when you draft in people's positions, it opens up their eyes a little bit and get them to play a little harder.
I think they did good in draft. They did a lot of, they plugged a lot of defensive holes, but I just think that it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. And I think they're going to, it's going to take some time. The rookies can't just step up in there and understand the game. The game has to stay down first.
Yeah. It's going to be about scheme.
There's going to be a lot of gaping. There's going to be a lot of, like mistakes.
Learning curve. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be gaping holes going on through there. So, I mean, who knows? And it may cost them the division, because of that, because they're going to be so, top heavy of new guys on their defense.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the 17-game season?
More injury. They did it for the money, obviously, but I'm skeptical on how these players are going to hold up. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but
didn't they work it out some way where you get to sit one of your your players, your starters, like one game everybody gets to sit at least one game?
I don't know about that.
I thought they decreased the preseason, but not.
That's all they did.
I think was it 2 games now preseason?
I think. I mean, I thought it was
4 before. Actually 5.
I thought it was 3. I think it's 3 preseason games because
it could have been 5 for some, like the Hall of Fame game for that. Those 2 teams, they played 5 back in the day.
Yeah, this is the Hall of Fame game, and then I thought, if I'm not mistaken, I was looking at the Steelers. It's because I think we played a Hall of Fame. I actually think we played the Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the Hall of Fame game, and then I think there's 3 preseason games, and then the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure.
No, that's right, because they reduced it 1 game, because it used to be the Hall of Fame game and 4 other games, but now it's Hall of Fame game and 3 other games.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Man. So, any favorites at the, still season didn't even start yet, and the training can't even start, but at least we know what the
Tampa Bay, Kansas City. Rewind, run it back.
That's it.
Yeah,
my dark horse out of the AFC is Buffalo.
I was about to say the same thing. I'm with Cliff. Buffalo. Yeah. Buffalo got Emmanuel Sanders over there with them now, along with
Stephon
Diggs. They're gonna be tough, yo. Buffalo's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
I want to see another year of Jarrett. I want to see another year before they give him $50 million, like they plan on doing. Can I just see one more year, like the quarterback? Just give me one more year. That's all. I mean, I don't think I'm asking a lot. He had one.
He's talking about the quarterback for Buffalo before they take him off. Can he get like at least one more year?
Can I get one more year out of him?
Consistent. Before we take him off, cash him out.
Before we max him out and tell him he's the greatest ever, can we just?
I'm not saying he's the greatest ever. I just think that Buffalo just has a lot of a lot of good components of their team, and he does enough to help it. He doesn't hurt it.
No,
I don't think Josh Allen is great. He's big. And he reminds me of Ben a little bit because of his size and all that. And he's serviceable. But
they talking about giving him 50. They talking about giving him 50.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They talk about giving him 50.
But that's the white boy, and he got the he'll definitely hold that mantle for 15 years to come. But don't get it twisted. He's a baller. He's getting better every year. He's getting better every year.
I like his game.
He can play. He can play. And that's why I said I'm with Cliff on it. Buffalo is tough, man. Buffalo's good.
But we've seen other players who could also play, and they was made to wait at the end of the line to get their money. That's what Wes is saying.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, absolutely.
1 year. Jokers had 1 year.
They get paid.
Well, and I mean, like sometimes it all comes down to what franchise you're in, man, and
absolutely.
What city you playing in, like I said, and what franchise? Because
not for brothers.
It depends because, like I said, even with the draft night, when we were talking about what you call him from Ohio State,
Justin Fields.
We're talking about Justin Fields, and we're saying, he couldn't have fell into a better scenario with the Bears. That's a great scenario for him. The defense is great there. He can jump right into a team that's not unlike Jacksonville. Jacksonville is going to be getting smacked. The Bears are going to be smacking a couple of people though.
I agree with you. I agree. He's in a good situation. But what I'm saying is, you got to wait 5 years to get his money.
Right.
So when all that is said and done, like Seattle, Russell Wilson fell into a great situation, right? And but the funny part about it is that he took a guy's spot who had just signed a $35 million deal. Name is Matt Flynn, after playing one game in Green Bay and throwing 6 touchdowns. What
I'm saying is that Chicago has been starving for years for that quarterback. That's all I'm saying. And I just think that if Justin Fields can potentially, make his turnaround a little quicker because they were starving so bad. But we'll see. Like what you're saying, I agree with you, but we'll see. And if it doesn't happen, then it definitely is that, because that is the opportunity for him to turn something around and get his money quick, because Chicago has been starving.
They've been starving, but take Justin Fields out of it. If Pat Mahomes had to wait and my man in Houston had to wait their contract time, Russell Wilson had to wait, and he won a Super Bowl. So what I'm saying is Pat Mahomes and Russell Wilson won Super Bowls and they had to wait. I'm just saying. That's all. It is like that. There's too many examples of the brothers always wait out their contract all the time, and these guys get re-upped. I mean, boom, they throw one pass, like, gotta sign it. Gotta do it. Lock him up. So when I saw Pat Mahomes, I was like, Mahomes had to wait. Come on, Mahomes had to wait. Like, what?
Dude is
Mahomes is ridiculous, yo.
Ridiculous, bro.
Come on, man.
It's a circus out there. He had to wait. Get this,
But I don't want to think I'm jumping on Allen's. What's his name? What's his name?
Yeah, Josh Allen.
I think he can play. He's a good quarterback.
He's nice.
He's
not Carson Wentz, who didn't have to wait.
Yeah, who didn't have to. He's not Jared Goff, who really
did have to wait.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's true.
I don't necessarily agree that Mahomes had to wait. I think that was more about the structure, because again, look what they gave him. You know what I'm saying? You had to wait to get that structure, that deal, that bigger deal. I don't think that he necessarily had to wait. He knew what was coming, and they had to structure that.
No, what I'm saying, what what's it saying is that if Mahomes was a white boy after his first show out year, they would have locked him in a deal.
That's all I'm saying.
Not 1 year though. They ain't not like I don't know about 1 year.
Oh yeah, but
his second year, his first year he sat on the bench. His second year he showed out.
Yeah.
If he was a white boy, he got his money that year.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen is what in his third or fourth?
He had a great year last year. His first year was
nothing.
Second year, he
great.
Thing.
And then talk about re-upping him third year.
Carson Wentz came in same year as that.
Yeah,
they locked him in.
Carson Wentz is a head scratcher.
Need I say one more player? Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo got $30 million. He played 7 games. All I'm saying, $30 million for 7 games. True. It happens quickly. It's a process. Like, you're right, Cliff. I think that Mahomes is going to get paid, but he would have gotten paid as a Caucasian quarterback after that first show out year. They would have done it earlier. They might not have given the same amount of money. He wouldn't have been $50 million, like you're saying, the structure of it, and sat on for 10 years. But he would have definitely got $35 million a year without a problem.
Yeah, it wouldn't have had to be because the market moves up. So you would have been locking him in at a lower number, but you'd have been locking him in.
Right. Yeah, it's
not saying you have to prove yourself, risk injury, risk being on a bad team. That's just shit that you can't control. For them to go, this is why we're not giving you what you asked for. Luckily, he waited out. He won the Super Bowl, and you can't argue the fact. But along the way, so many variables happen that why don't you lock these guys in just like you do? But, it's per team, like KG said. It depends on the team you go to, the situation, the staffing, the organization, how they do things. It's just, it seems consistently the brothers got to wait.
At that position. Now in Dallas, it's consistent. The brothers always wait, but Jason Witten and Sean Lee, they were re-upping. They were re-up. That's a Dallas culture, period. But
these billionaire owners not trying to give CEO over to the brothers yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
CEO status to the brothers yet.
Hey, listen, listen. The Steelers don't pay nobody. It just seems like every time it come time for somebody to get paid, they never paying nobody. So.
Rooney got a what do you call it? One of them fanny packs, and he got all his millions in his fanny pack.
Right.
Rooney
it's just like every time it's time somebody get paid, they just walk out the door.
What are you asking for? What do you want?
Yeah.
Nah, he got that. Nah. That's crazy. Yeah, man. So, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's 9:30.
Yep.
We good, gentlemen?
Yeah.
All right. Well, once again, IZM Sports. Appreciate y'all. Everybody in the chat, JT, no doubt. Run it down right fast when we hop off. Let the people know we love them because we do. Darryl Simpson, Tasha, Peanut, Derek Parks, Graham, what up? Robert Swinney Jr., Left Guns, Chuck was in the building, Cousin Tommy, Al Samad, everybody. Love and respect. This is IZM Sports. We out. Peace.
Welcome back, Wes. We miss you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
welcome back.
You might be on location next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna be down in Myrtle Beach.
Hey.
All right.
Live your life. Have fun, man.
Can we disclose what the plan?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the idea is, so he's playing the golf tournament, Myrtle Beach next week, and the timing may have him still on the course or just leaving the course. So we're gonna try to do some live streaming from where he's at with his crew, so we can see how his game is for real. Because he can tell us anything.
Yeah, please.
No, listen. We need a signed scorecard, Wes. A signed scorecard, documented, and then you got to put it up. This way, we ain't kicking no balls, and you ain't, erasing those snowmans. We want documents.
The Thursday round is probably the most intense round of the weekend because that's the round that you playing against the people in your room, and these are all my college boys. So so we know each other for 30 plus years, and it's just we've been talking for 2 years because we didn't play last year because of COVID. And Cliff, you know, since you play a little bit, I was telling Hawk the other day, I had a 2-week stretch where I couldn't hit the ball. I don't know what happened to my swing, right? So I'm sweating out t-shirts because I'm like, I only got like 7 days left. I can't go down there like this. I was like, well, damn, maybe I can say Sarai got sick because I was like, the hell with the money. I don't care about the money. I'm not going. I'm not going down there like this. But today, I got out to the range today, and all of a sudden, that ball was traveling the way it was supposed to. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
So it's very, you know how it is, man. Golf is like, you gotta stay in the moment.
You gotta play it. You gotta play it.
And so I'm gonna see what happens. But Thursday is the round. I told Hockey, y'all might not want to see me after the round.
You might not want to see us.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, like when it take you a few days of hiding from Sports Center, you might want to be high.
It's a good time though. You know who's in our group? Stan Verrett from Sports Center.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
so.
He's in our group. We I played with him like
big time.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool group of dudes. It's like 44 guys, but yeah, so he put us on Sports Center 2 years ago.
Oh, nice.
He had it on a late night Sports Center. He took the whole group picture. He posted it on ESPN.
Okay.
And now we're gonna have you on Mad IZM Sports.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely get us out there like that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Yo, man. So yeah, once again, this is Mad IZM Sports. Check in next week so we can see how West did on the golf course.
Yeah.
And we out of here.
All right, now.
Peace.
Peace.